Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados, live right here on Thinking Critical YouTube. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. Everyone's recovering from 4th of July a couple weeks ago. We've got the SAG actors strike going on. I bet Josh is just brokenhearted over that one. What else we got? We got Blood and Guts coming up on AEW, although for some reason Yule doesn't care about wrestling anymore. But we're going to talk about the geek stuff. We're going to talk about some comic book stuff. We got some comic book movie stuff. Wonderful panel. Returning all the way from the land of the rising sun, fellow expat Gray, formerly of the UK but now residing in Japan full time. How you doing, Gray?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I achieved my lifelong ambition of becoming a weeb, whereas that's why I came over here, really, isn't it?
Wow. Very nice. And I said now residing in Japan. You've been there for longer than I've been in the Philippines.
Oh, really? I've been here 20 years now, yeah, which is crazy. Really crazy.
So it's not really now. It's like if you move back to the UK, now residing in the UK, but bit of the Japanese area for quite some time.
Yeah, and it's hot as hell. It's really humid. It's sticky like the Philippines, mate, right now.
Yeah, it's like the rainy season right now. Every day it's just raining cats and dogs here in the Philippines. Very, very humid, very sticky. Hasn't been a whole lot of fun, but things are going all right in Japan. Did you have some? I had some sushi today. It was nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've been chatting to Jim from Weird Science Comics about sushi. He's a big fan, apparently.
Love it.
Jim?
Love it.
Really?
Yeah, I love sushi.
It's true.
Wow, there you go.
I sent him some overwares, but it went off on the way.
Yeah.
Blew it.
What's your favorite sushi roll, Jim?
Actually, I like sashimi better than rolls. But if I have rolls, I like what I get at the place that we go to, which is an all-you-can-eat place. It's actually a tempura shrimp roll, so it has like a handle in it. It's really good. Yeah.
We also have the tempura shrimp roll here.
I love it. That's my favorite. Yeah, we have an all-you-can-eat place near here, and I'm cheap, so it works out.
I always like the rolls with like the lava sauce and all the crispy things
That's
on
good
them.
too, yeah.
Maybe some
Yeah.
bacon in there.
Why not? They have a Philadelphia roll that has cream cheese in it that I'll eat occasionally. It's okay.
Wouldn't a Philadelphia roll have like cheese whiz and cheesesteak in it?
It should. I complained to the one person, but I don't think they spoke English.
Man, that sounds like a Seattle roll.
Yeah,
Jim.
really. Just because the Philadelphia cream cheese, it's kind of bullcrap roll anyway.
Oh, because like the Seattle roll is the cream cheese with what is it? Smoked
Coffee.
Salmon.
Oh.
And then a little avocado.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Avocado, though, can go. Stuff it.
That's good for you.
It is. That's why you can stuff it. Again, I went to cheesesteak stuff.
Yeah, why wouldn't you make the cheesesteak for the Philly roll? I don't get that one, but what's your favorite roll there, Gray?
The rolls aren't that popular, whereas in Japan, I'm a big fan of, do you know the salmon roll? It's like the little pink eggs,
Yes.
ikura it's called. That's delicious. Mm-hmm. And a bit of unagi.
Get those on our California maki here.
Oh, okay, awesome.
My son loves them.
Motherfuckers are making me hungry.
Sorry, I didn't know you like sushi either. So you just eat the fish eggs right out of the bowl?
Me?
No, I mean me or dog.
Great.
I recommend it. Whereas with on top of rice, it's really good, like a donburi style. Little bit of wasabi mixed in, really good.
There you go. So then you get some.
Sorry, it's the food show,
Japanese
isn't it, from Japan?
food talk before we get to the nerd stuff. Also returning to the channel, a big old toxic fan and retailer, Yule Carter, got his own YouTube channel. How you doing, you?
Fine. I'm not toxic. I mean, I every once in a while think I'm saying something funny, but I don't really attack people or anything like that.
You don't have to attack people to be toxic.
Oh, okay.
Don't you know that?
It's more.
You read the article.
No, I did, and I heard your video on it too. It was all great, and I can't wait to. I was thinking, oh my god, I have to talk about this now too. I was kind of avoiding it because it's been out for like a week, and I'm like, I don't want to really, be all negative on my show or anything like that. But I don't know. I think it's something that needs to be talked about, and I'm happy to be able to do that today.
Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. How's things going at the shop? Did Fallen Friend sell out first day?
No, it didn't sell out, but things the last 2 weeks have been pretty good. There was last week a lot for people to purchase. A lot of times, when we do at the end of the show, we talk about comics that we like. More often than not, I'm talking about Yule liking a comic book. But the easiest way for me to hate something is to not sell it, even if I like it. This mother, Night Terrors has actually been doing better, or I should say, my numbers have been pretty solid, and I've been able to accommodate the people that want them. So I feel like it's a success. There are definitely people that aren't reading DC as much right now, or at least obviously their normal titles. So they might get a book from that or nothing at all. There are things that are coming out that for DC that other people can buy, but it still is mostly Night Terrors. And then Marvel, Spider-Man is still doing well for me. Amazing that is. The Spider-Man book with all the Spider-Boy nonsense, hullabaloo, is doing well for me. There are things out there. The surprise for me that isn't doing as well as I thought it should is Avengers. If we have to talk about wait, who said it sucks?
I said it sucks.
Oh, you said it sucks. I didn't read all of the second issue yet because I'm not big of Kane fan. But I thought the first issue was good, and I thought the art was solid. Jed McKay's tells us certain, he kind of fills that role where like we used to have like Cullen Bunn or Scott Lobdell or other people, and he kind of is that guy now.
Very
not
nice.
as exciting as Kate's.
Jed McKay is the Cullen Bunn and Scott Lobdell of Marvel.
Scott Lobdell was at least competent. All the rest of those guys are barely.
He was the
Jed McKay's got the best
sentient.
book at Marvel, and he has for the last year or two with Moon Knight. There you go.
I'm just
Jed McKay are barely sentient.
Scott Lobdell was put on the best book. If you look at his Alpha Flight numbers or anything else he's ever done, he's not a seller.
I knew Duck was going to lose. He thinks Scott Lobdell was something.
No, that's fine. And I mean, like, depending on eras, he's just kind of like writing everything is really what I'm saying. And Doc made it personal.
So, Jim, obviously we've heard the retailer perspective. You're a comic book reviewer.
Yeah.
And I would say these 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks that we've had, just as far as the quality of the books that I've read, are probably the worst that I've ever seen while I've had my channel.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, though, because people seem to be positive, but they were negative going into it. And then, read some stuff, review it. And I lost so many subscribers by saying that Night Terrors #1 wasn't that good. And I don't get people how they're playing it. But yeah, the overall thing and really what scares me. Probably like 7 in like a minute when I put that video up. It's not that much.
That's not losing.
It's still something. Sorry, Mr. YouTube.
That's a lot for me.
I take every downvote or lost subscriber I take personally. I want to go and slice people when it happens. But the idea of the books, though, it just doesn't feel necessary. That's the big thing, and I'm glad that it's selling for Yule, because I do think people want to check it out. But overall, it just feels unnecessary. It feels uninspired by the end, and I'm really worried because I've talked to a bunch of the tie-in writers and said, like, what were you told about this? What did they tell you going in? Some guidance, and they said almost all of them absolutely nothing. They were just told to write nightmares. And so by the end, I think when you're going to see a real big backlash is when we get these second issues of the tie-ins and people realize that none of them matter, and they kind of were duped into that. So I'm worried about what people think about it. But so far, I think it's been down. It just feels like a nothing event. As
3 weeks ago, we had 3 comic books to recommend on the channel. Last week, we had 5, and then this week, we have 3 again.
Yeah. At least Mark Wade's doing some side things, 10. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Me and you have been on a couple of times. I've been on and we had 8, 9 books because there have been so many good things.
It is what it is, man. How's everything going on the channel? You monetized yet? You making some money?
Yeah. Making a little. So it was monetized. So that was nice. It was tough to get those hours in, but now it seems like, things are going okay.
It just compounds on
telling itself. You, one person,
wife is off your
back? She's always yelling at me. Always yelling. She's the one who messed up the whole AdSense monetized thing, and it's nonsense. It took me so much to get that fixed. She's now going to kill me, but that's fine. We had flooding, though, this week.
You almost died in a flood?
Yeah, really, I almost did. I ended up, our basement flooded. I went down, slipped, went under the water. And it was just like shit water, too. It was the worst.
Oh, man.
He's
I
making
was
it
under
up.
doctor's
So
note.
I'm under it. I'm coming up. I'm like Luke Skywalker in the damn trash compactor. And I hear my
man.
wife
My
yelling
favorite scene
as
in
I'm
movie
still
history.
underwater. I'm underwater and I hear her like, "What are you doing, asshole?" That's all through the water. And I was so mad. I wanted to stay under the water. Is what I wanted to do.
So you almost died, and
I-
your wife still called you an asshole.
Yeah.
I
she
would
was
have
screaming.
gone to my grave without telling that story.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I almost went to my grave. I was thinking of just inhaling water and going to the sweet abyss. And then afterwards, I go out and I go to mow the lawn because she's yelling at me, and the mower was underwater because it was in the flooded backyard. So,
My goodness.
didn't work. Everything
There was a
always
king
wrong.
in Germany that drowned in 4 inches of water.
Yeah.
So
This was
apparently he was married to.
yeah.
Well, never mind.
This was like 4.5 feet. We had it. It's bad.
Man, that is my favorite scene in Star Wars history. I
It
still
is.
love
Yeah,
it.
it's awesome.
When the little eye comes up and he turns around.
Yeah.
Man,
Chewbacca
the trash-
stunk for the next 2 movies because the guy never takes a bath.
Fucking Chewbacca.
Yeah.
There you go. So you did almost die this week, Jim. So
Yep.
I'm glad you're keeping it up. Who else we got here keeping it up? Those
Yeah,
doesn't sound right.
I'm
We
trying.
got Josh McDonald from Popeye Culture, the fastest growing pop culture YouTube news channel in the world. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well, Wes. How are you?
Doing all right.
Yeah. We were talking about Night Terrors. I wanted to say my LCS, they're selling Night Terrors better than they sold Convergence. And that just seems weird to me.
Yeah.
Oh, good for them. I'm glad they're making some money.
I mean, yeah. He's trying to like reorder issues now because he's selling out. He's like, I didn't see this coming. Because he
don't see
agrees.
it
The
coming
book
either.
is not good. But other than that, I went and saw, I'm just going to say this real quick. I went and saw Sound of Freedom last night. If you're able to go see that movie, please go see it. It's a fantastic film. It's got a great message, and it talks about stuff that we should be having more conversations about. So, Sound of Freedom, go see it.
Josh McDonald, QAnon confirmed.
That's right. Just wanna run
Is
with
it better
Why
than
not?
Wakanda?
Yes, it's better than Wakanda Forever. Shut up, Gray. Also, hey, Gray.
Did you see the Indiana Jones movie? Did you see Mission Impossible? What else did you see?
I did not see Indiana Jones. I don't plan on seeing it till it comes out on Disney Plus. I'm seeing Mission Impossible after the stream. So,
Oh, well, that'll be
Yeah.
exciting. I hear everything about that movie's pretty decent.
yeah, it's getting great feedback, great reviews. So, looking forward to it.
My goodness, are you feeling all right? You know, we're 2 weeks past Pride Month. Do you miss it already?
Fuck no. Oh shit. Oh yeah, no, we're good. We're sorry. We're 40. We're past the minute mark.
We're
Yeah.
past the beginning part. Yeah, we can curse.
I already said motherfucker at least twice.
No,
I'm
you
trying to be
didn't, Doc.
self-aware now, and now just I fly off the
No,
handle.
you're good.
No, I don't miss June. I'm happy we're not talking about that crap. I'm glad it's behind us. I just
Wow. Well, there you go. I won't bring it up. Obviously, it's the sore subject. Finally, we do have the somewhat co-host of the Comics Aficionados, Doc. How you doing, Doc?
I'm wonderful.
Do you
I-
like it that Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach, or whatever, calls you the doctor?
I
Like
think
your
it's
wrestling
funny.
fan?
I really do find it funny that Zach still, like, every single time it's never Doc, it's the doctor. And I'm like, all right, whatever, man. At some point he will slip up and actually just call me by the same name everybody else does. So
Because he knew you before you were on my channel
yeah,
as
But-
Doc, right?
I think, but I don't
Really?
know. I don't fucking know, man. It's really amusing to me, but no, I love it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we recorded a couple of videos already today, Doc. So maybe he'll be talking about what did we cover? We called it the Hellfire Catalyst spoilers. That'll be up tomorrow, and then we also talked about Miss Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel, Fallen Friend, and
Amazing comic book.
oh
dear.
God.
All right, let's hear it for the peoples. We do have some super chats here. Lane Kramer, Rogan Gambit, $5 had the worst ending ever. It ended with a gumbo recipe. LOL on a stream I did Doc Light 2-minute rant on how stupid it was. So I imagine he means Rogan Gambit number 5. But
That
I had
Yeah.
seen something about this. It ends up with a recipe for gumbo.
I'm sorry, that book is still being published?
Yeah, it's Stephanie. It's one of the
Phillips.
generic Stephanies. Yeah, it's Stephanie Phillips.
I can't believe that fucking book hasn't been canceled yet.
I think
I
it's
can't
over
believe
now.
that she has a recipe for gumbo. I'm shocked she knows how to cook.
I sent it to Sully and wanted him to do it live on his channel. I sent him the recipe from the issue, but he's not going to do it. He doesn't like gumbo.
Well, also, I wouldn't.
Sully
Take
doesn't
any-
like gumbo?
That's what he said.
Is he scared of spices?
Oh no! Hold on. I would not. Look, I would never take one of the recipes from a comics cat lady ever, because you're probably going to give yourself food poisoning.
Sully says it's soup adjacent, but I thought Sully likes soup.
I am not convinced any of these people actually know how to feed themselves at all. So
There you go.
Sully's the soup gatekeeper, I think.
Yeah, he's gatekeeped out gumbo. I don't whatever,
Open
man.
gatekeeper
Yeah.
of soup.
Callum says, "I hate everyone involved in Secret Wars and the Acolyte the same way I hate Mystique. From the makeup crew to the diversity hire coffee boy. I like Mystique. Mystique was
I
a
was
great
about to say,
character,
what's
especially in
wrong
those
with
original
Mystique?
X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Even Jennifer Lawrence wasn't bad for the first couple of on the reboot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fine. It was more so her personally that became the problem.
I hate the costume and the design for Mystique from the movies. I want her in the fucking maxi dress.
Calm down, you homo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
god damn
what is
it.
wrong with you?
He doesn't like the
Mystique
scale.
was too
That
sexy.
little-
I'm scared. What is
No!
the thing here, Doc?
It looks nothing like her. Weird
Artistic license, man.
reptile Mystique is not Mystique.
Man. Who was the supermodel that they got to play? her in the
Rebecca
X-Men
Romaine
movie?
Stamos,
Exactly.
John Stamos' ex-wife. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she was in. What was that science fiction horror movie she was in? Where she was trying to breed with everyone. Yes.
Species,
Yeah.
Wes,
That
yeah.
thing was amazing.
Don't you got that name really quick? Just got to say that. Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was on it. I mean, he was just waiting for the question to be asked. He's like,
Goddamn right.
I don't know. How can you hate the Acolyte? It has to come out. At least Secret Wars is already disappointing people. Yeah, we'll see what happens. MH hashtag Comics Invictus. The Marvel character death was quietly cheered. Miss Marvel is now a mutant. Wolverine should be an Inhuman.
Why not? Fuck it. Who cares?
Might
Why
as
not?
well, I mean,
Nothing
I
matters.
don't like that. I mean,
Just-
I don't
you know,
like any of
it's
that.
not fair. The Inhumans lost the most popular character they have, so the mutants should have to give up their most popular hero. Kind of makes sense.
Just
Wait, Medusa?
Johnny
Black
Storm?
Are you saying Miss Marvel isn't the most popular Inhuman character?
I don't think most of the fans of Ms. Marvel know that she's an Inhuman or ever was. That's what I think.
fair.
Well, there you go. Lade says, how long till line-wide comics are $5? End of 2023?
I don't know. Marvel's still they're holding the line at $3.99 most of the time.
It's true. Marvel comics are significantly cheaper than DC comics, but DC is
So
pretty
8
much already
months.
there.
Oh, they're there. They're there.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
Batman, if it's a main title, like if it's going to be a Trinity, they're going to be $4.99 all the way. It definitely Batman
With a
is.
card stock cover for $6.
Well, then it's
too.
$5.99. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
Yeah,
if
so-
it's foil, it's $7.99.
and if it's a Marvel foil, it's
they
$8.
charge the comic store $9.
Yeah.
Make a little
Jesus.
dollar off you as you lose money. Federico de la Casa. Hi guys. I don't like this Miss Marvel race swap. Even if you don't like Inhumans, the beauty of the Marvel universe is the rich story. This just means that she doesn't have a specific quality. She's just a generic mutant. Is that a race swap or is that a species swap?
I think it's species.
Yeah.
Yeah. Generic mutant.
Wait,
Aren't all Inhumans? I mean, they just look
Yeah.
stupid, and they're mutants. You
You don't like Black Bolt?
it's the dumbest character ever.
That's the best thing Saladin
The
Ahmed
only-
ever wrote in his
Yep.
life.
Well, I'm happy for him there, but
You don't
just
like the big dog that's enormous?
No, God, and the dude with the hooves, so stupid, so stupid. Medusa, she's all right.
Karnak, a big-headed
Karnak's
ninja.
kinda cool. It's the big head. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? It's just dumb. And I'm gonna go and I'm a normal person until I have to go in the mists. And then it was all spreading. No, I'm not a big fan.
If there's any chance that someone on this panel is a Miss Marvel fan, it's going to be Josh. Does it upset you that they're switching her from being inhuman to a mutant, Josh?
Honestly, I don't fucking care.
Come on, you were our one hope.
I wouldn't even say I'm a Miss Marvel fan. I'm just
You're an Iman Vellani fan.
I'm an Iman Vellani fan for sure. She's awesome. Whether or not she can write, we'll get to later. But
There you go. It's a species swap, not a race swap, Federico De La Casa. Get your terminology.
Get your genomes right. And
yeah.
Well, no. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oftentimes you'll hear them in comics refer to it as the mutant race.
You're right.
And the inhuman race. So it is a race swap. Now, whether or not they're actually, it is.
Maybe the Inhumans should all be like related to vampires, right? They're not alive. They're not humans. They're inhumans.
But they're not undead.
They're not alive. They're undead. Well, they're cousins.
Okay.
All Inhumans will be. Sorry.
If Godzilla isn't your thing, that's fine. Did you see that Godzilla -1 teaser? It puts Western VFX to shame.
It does
I
look
like
dope.
Godzilla.
It looks
Godzilla's cool.
awesome. And then they have that silhouette and it's all like kind of Frank Miller-y and stuff like that. Looks good.
Yeah. Godzilla. That's Japanese culture Doc can actually can take, despite having the weird names.
It's Godzilla.
Gojira.
All I give a shit about is giant dinosaur monster, that has nuclear.
You didn't like
breath.
the two pretty ladies that were like the messengers?
I don't care about them. I just want to see chaos and smashing. It's disaster porn.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy reviews. I love Marvel is teasing a new Punisher now. Frank Castle is the Punisher, and that's not up for debate. I hope they course correct, but I doubt it. Yes, we're going to get a new character to play the Punisher now. And it looks like he's got laser guns, so I'm thinking it might be Cable, Doc.
Sure. You know what? Fuck it. Why not? Just why not? I mean, at this point, nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. So fuck it. Just do whatever you want. Slap. Make him Captain Punisher while you're at it, and have him wear the American flag, have the fucking shield, and maybe give him Mjolnir too. Why not? And the Infinity Gauntlet.
Going too far, please.
The Infinity
That'll
Gauntlet.
never
Why
happen,
not?
Doc. I feel like you're not being realistic here.
Yeah.
I feel like we're
not
about
worthy.
6 months away from it.
He'll probably come back as a female character.
Probably.
Oh.
No, they said it was going to be Nick Fury.
Pew, pew, pew.
Nick Fury's son. Where did you see that? Your boy Zach was talking about that. I don't know if it was a joke or a rumor. Nick Fury's son is going to be the new Punisher.
Wait,
Because they couldn't get him over as Nick Fury.
Just like
So wait,
Fury
hold
Jr.?
on. So we're gonna get Black Punisher again. Isn't there already a Black Punisher that was
there
British?
was. No, he was. Wait.
No, he was British.
Mike,
was he?
Mike
Mike
Baron did a
Tyson.
Black Punisher.
Yeah, Frank Castle was Black Punisher.
Yeah,
I know
they did the one with him and Luke Cage where he magically turned himself black.
Scientifically
but there was
turned
Yeah,
There's a
no,
British
okay,
as
fine.
well, yes.
But there's a Black British Punisher.
I didn't know that. What was
No
it?
way, I
Garth
didn't
Ennis
know.
one?
He was in London. I don't remember.
I can't remember his name though.
Neither do I.
But it's out there. I remember
Nigel
that.
Higgins.
Nigel Higgins.
Wow.
Well, duh. Of course.
Nigel is a very
Nigel.
British name.
it's a British name. I
Yeah.
can't stand it. Sorry.
No American would ever
No.
name their son Nigel because they get the shit beat out of them.
It's
Where-
really
It wouldn't be
weird.
the Punisher; they'd be the Punish. You know what I mean?
It's really
There's a
weird.
way.
I actually know a dude named Nigel Higgins, which is really funny.
Although they go, it's like
Is he
John
Scottish?
Smith or something like that, right?
I think he's an Aussie.
That makes sense. Those guys also have bad names. There was a dude in the UFC, and his first name was Frickus. South African. Oh, there you go. I don't get that one. Caleb says, no, not the Mystique makeup, the comic. I meant the makeup team in Secret Invasion, everyone involved. The Mystique thing is stupid and personal. What Mystique comic book?
Are you talking about the Brian K. Vaughan one? That was actually really good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that
The
one a
one
lot.
it was
The
during
Tiny
Tsunami
Spy was weird, but
Yeah.
overall it was a really good book. And Professor X is he's a controlling dick as usual.
Yeah, where he used her as a.
I don't like
essentially-
Mystique in comic books right now with what they're doing with the X-Men.
Yeah. We don't
Where
like
she's
most of what they're doing.
resurrected and destroyed like the whatever thing, but it doesn't really matter, right?
Is there anything we like that they're doing with the X-Men?
Spoilers for the video tomorrow. Doc and I did give a tip of the cap for Jean Grey turning Juggernaut into a human bullet and firing him at Nimrod. And I thought, that's a pretty good idea. It's very common.
I mean, at least she didn't turn him gay.
Hey.
It could have been a gay bullet.
Can you imagine Juggernaut busting through walls and being like, hey?
I am the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, totally different.
I know, right?
Yeah.
gives a whole new feeling to that scene.
We're going to apologize to everyone that reads comics now because Marvel's definitely going to steal that one.
Absolutely. Federico de la Casa. Guys, Inhumans are half humans and mutants evolved from humans. So it's race, not species. Only Doc is right. Nothing matters. P.S. The Outlaw was the Black Brit Punisher. Should have been a black lesbian.
That's right. I thought it was Inhumans. I'm so confused.
There was a really hot female Punisher that Kieran Grant drew a while back that like drove an old Chevy SS but wore like a female version of the Punisher costume, and he did one as a piece of kind of concept art a while ago that I would be okay with for a temporary replacement Punisher, mostly because it would look like Axel Braun's Punisher.
There you go. And humans are half mutant, half humans. Doc.
Aren't they
Inhumans are half
Kree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or part Kree.
Yeah, they're part Kree, part Celestial.
And all nonsense.
Yeah.
Boom.
And all stupid.
Yeah.
All stupid.
Whoever thought that they were going to be able to replace the mutants because they couldn't make X-Men movies? The fucking old man.
It was.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Nobody. I mean, everybody said that's what was happening as that was happening, and Marvel continually said, no, that's not what's going on. But of course, DC was doing New 52, and they were lying about that bullshit too. So, you're getting it on all ends, and it's hard to keep track of it. It's like, all right, well, let's go with this Inhumans bullshit. Charles Soule, all the way.
You like Charles Soule, huh?
He's all right.
What's funny is
he tried on those things.
I think that X-Men Inhumans thing was originally something that Avi Arad recommended to Ike Perlmutter like 15 years ago, but he didn't do it, and then they did it anyway.
Well, Caleb says, yes, I hate queer Mystique and that Sherlock Holmes.
I don't have a problem with Mystique. I mean, I always thought it was kind of like, it's Chris Claremont did it. Whatever, I don't care. The Sherlock Holmes bit, I don't dig it at all.
They turned Mystique into Sherlock Holmes?
No, they had a story where they went back and where we went back in time and saw Mystique and Destiny hanging out together.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that was like, I really wanted to like that issue, and I was reading it, it's like, this is horseshit.
That's a good way to respond to most X-Men comics these days.
There's been a few I've liked.
Let's get into this. There was this article out. I did a video on it, and then Richard did a video on it, your boy Zach, and then actually, excuse me, Clownfish TV also did a video on it. But you guys are the most toxic people I've ever met in my life, and they were pretty much talking about you guys.
You're welcome.
Doc, obviously, yeah. Doc and I had a conversation on it, so I thought So what's it feel like to be the big problem with comic books, Yule? I mean, you're a retailer. Your customers just must really suck because they're so toxic.
No, I mean, nobody is. I mean, everybody has their thing. I had a guy come in one day during the last Black Panther run, and he looks at me. He says, "I never thought I would say this, but I would like to be taken off Black Panther." And he gets.
Did he feel shame?
He did. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't representing. You know what I mean? It's like he does. Captain or whatever she's called these days, Monica Rambeau. He'll get all the different, black characters, and then the other, in superhero comics, sometimes outside of it. And then he'll get like the other ones, that he likes, he'll get Spider-Man and Captain America and other, white superhero comics. But he's always, getting his, he's representing, like I said, and he didn't want to get Black Panther. And that was a very sad thing. That's
Was it
his
the John
toxic
Ridley run or Eve Ewing?
It was the John Ridley run.
I
So
don't blame him. That
he
thing got
didn't
bad
give a shit
quick.
when I handed him the Eve Viewing one. I said it's way more superhero than the last one. He didn't care.
He turned him off to Black Panther forever?
I don't know about forever, but like if JMS would have been doing Black Panther instead of Captain America, I think he'd be like really super stoked, but that just ain't the way it is. But that's about as toxic as it gets. He doesn't come in and go, "I can't."
That doesn't
stand
sound
these
very
late-"
toxic. It sounded
No,
like
it sounded
he was
very
like-
sad, is what it sounds like.
He didn't want to stop.
Yeah, but I one thing on the article they didn't say, and I know they really want to say it, is old dudes. Old dudes are the problems with comics.
Is this
And-
toxic? AL says she heard a guy at her comic shop say he hopes Peter Parker stops being a whiny bitch.
I mean, he kind of is always a whiny bitch. Going out and being a superhero is where he doesn't have to be that way.
Doesn't seem that toxic. I think it's
No.
way worse than that, Gray. I think the comic book industry and media and everybody have a much bigger problem than toxic fads and them taking the piss out of comic books. I'm just seeing a lot of apathy. Like people that would talk about comic books every week, I'm not seeing them talk about comic books very much anymore. They're, as a host of a YouTube channel, there's not much for me to talk about right now that hasn't already been said, and I'm finding it difficult to create new comic book content because there just isn't anything to go, whoa, this is different because it's great, or this is different in a bad way, or something. It's just kind of like, my hands are up. I'm going, okay, I guess I'll have to find some other stuff that hopefully the audience are interested in, because they're just like, there's nothing to talk about right now. I don't see the toxicity because I don't see there very many people being there, Gray.
I know. Apathy, that's the worst thing, isn't it? Whereas, because you're talking, you'd rather have passion, whether it's like, angry or celebratory, but apathy, it's really sad to have that. But I've heard that for a long time now. People just losing interest. What was the last thing we got really excited about recently? The big comic news. Was it that Void Rivals issue that kind of came out of nowhere? That's about
that
it,
was
isn't it?
cool.
Yeah.
And I was excited to make a video with Jim on that. I was like, finally,
Yep.
we have something really awesome to talk about. And hopefully people are interested in it. And people were interested, and I was happy about that.
If we're getting criticised for being so negative all the time, it's like, well, okay, well, give us something positive to talk about. That's all we're looking for.
I can only talk about why Moon Knight is so good and the best comic book at Marvel so many times, Yule. Because, I don't want to spoil the story for the most
Right.
part. The artist isn't changing, so the artist basically stayed the same, but it's still awesome. And you can only talk about something that isn't bad in the same exact way so often. And there's so few of them out there. It's hard to highlight in new ways.
Yeah, when I'm thinking of content for my channel, I'm lucky I just do the one live show. But like every once in a while, I kind of want to get that monetization. I need to make videos. I know this is a thing, and it isn't. I've got an angle, but I don't want to really just sit down and do videos on it because it just doesn't. It doesn't sound very exciting. And a lot of it is based on the comic books that are coming out. I can I can shield something that's coming out. I can let people know what's going on. I can let people know what I really like, and then that's it, because those things come out for a time, and then eventually you get to the next one. But there's no Marvel age like there used to be, or Wizard and things out there, so that you could get excited towards the end of the month. It's just, everything happens now. It's on a website. Go look at it, and then unless someone's creating some waves in the comic industry, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. And
yeah, I mean, I can review old comic books, and there are people that absolutely enjoy that, and I enjoy it because it feels like a palate cleanser where you get to read something really cool and talk about it, why it's timeless. But most of the fans of my channel have already read that. I'm only introducing it to a certain amount of people, and a lot of people already knew that was good. Yes, I know that the Denny O'Neil Batman run is good. Like, tell me something I don't know. Yes, I know the Chris Claremont X-Men run is iconic. Tell me something I don't know, kind of thing. So there's only so much of that you can do. You almost sit there in a spot. I just kind of feel, and I think Josh is going through this right now as well, where
he's going to really be going through it with the movies, dude.
Yeah.
Which Batman comic am I supposed to be excited for this week? I
mean, this was something. It's something that when I was writing, and I'm sure Jim feels this to a massive degree, but when I was writing comics, the reason I stopped writing reviews for comics. The reason I stopped writing reviews was because I felt like a broken record, where every week I was saying the exact same thing. And then that made me angry because I got tired of writing the exact same thing. It's just, people can say we're toxic. I kind of like to equate us to sports fans, because a lot of times if you have people that are fans of a team, because I think we are fans of comics. I mean, generally speaking, we are fans of comics. That's why we do this. But if you have someone that's a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, and if they watch a game and after the game they're like, man, they should have done A, B, and C. They're not a toxic fan. They're wanting their team to perform better because they love their team. And I think that's so much of who we are and what we're trying to do. But you've got these people that are in comics or that are reading comics and potentially new to comics, that they're stuck in this echo chamber, and they either can't take the criticism, so they just say we're toxic, or they don't understand, so they say we're toxic.
Or they're just making stuff up, Josh, because I don't see Comicsgate really doing anything right now. I don't see comic fans going out there and bashing people for being gay. I just don't see that kind of bigotry out there.
Well, no, and even when you do get some type of race commentary or gay commentary, it's not even the fact that it's like, oh, I hate black people or I hate gay. It's not that. It's the way they're going about it. A lot of times we'll just say diversity. To get this diversity, we're having people lose something or undercut something to gain that. And that's where it's not working. But then and I'll use movies again for an example. Look at Little Mermaid. It got reviled. People tore it apart, and everyone said, "Oh, you're nothing but a bunch of racists." What was it? A week later, 2 weeks later, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came out. Not a word. People are flocking to see it. It's still doing well. I think it's the number 2 movie of the year right now.
Exactly. And the same thing with like an Aquaman movie. That is not really all that accurate of a portrayal of what you would expect for Arthur Curry to look like. He's not really Polynesian in the comic books. Nope. They made a movie with a Polynesian star, and they went out there and said, you should watch this Aquaman movie because he's the king of the fucking 7 seas. He's got his trident. And he's going to go out there and kick some ass and take some names. And guess what? It made $1 billion. People liked it.
Yeah. A lot of people like to be like, oh, it's not that good. But you know what? It was a hell of a lot of fun. And that's saying something on its own. So.
Hey, man, I think the Fast and the Furious movies have been bad for a long time. People like them. There's nothing. That's great. If there were a bunch of comic books that I said were bad and they were all just doing amazing, and obviously I had lost touch, I would be like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong on this one. But, outside of like Spider-Man and Batman, which sell because they are Spider-Man and Batman, not because of the quality of the book, I think I've got this one. I've nailed this one pretty much for the last 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and Josh is right about the reviews and things like that. And I think that over the years, because way back when me and Josh were both reviewing stuff, and I'd have to not that I had to, but I'd like to defend him. I would even go on, and defend him in comments because he was too nice to tell people they were assholes. So I swooped in to do that. But the thing is, you do end up You know, and you get this idea, and I think people have forgotten about what actual reviews and actual, critical thinking is. The idea that you can't just accept things because you accept them. And when you get this idea, you're reviewing something and you do start to feel like a broken record because things aren't changing. And then people come out and, why are you even reviewing this? Why are you reading it? But that's not what we're reviewing things. That's your deal.
I have a
And
comic book YouTube channel. I'm supposed to be talking about comic books.
Exactly. This week, a guy
Show me the
ended
headline
up-
that was out there that was interesting that I didn't cover.
Yeah, and I when I do stuff, and even on our podcast and reviews, I just like to have fun and poke some fun and be ridiculous and things like that. But I don't try to be just hateful. But people will just constantly just say, well, just stop reviewing it. And that over the years, and Josh, he's out of the game now, but he saw, like, over the years, it became all these new reviewers that jump on, and they're more fans than reviewers. Sites become more fan sites than review sites. And you really had a rise of what I kind of got pissed off that this article, which I thought was awful, didn't bring up the idea of positive toxicity, being, toxic in a positive way, where you end up where everything is great and you can't tell me anything different, even though they know it's not great, and they attack people and right away just say people are toxic just because you don't like something. And we've gotten at this point, and Josh will probably agree with me too, the idea that when you review something, YouTube or a written review, it doesn't make you a good or bad person just because you don't like a certain thing. If I don't like, a Miss Marvel book, I'm not racist. I think it's a poorly written book. If I don't like Black Panther by John Ridley, which was awful, that doesn't make me good, bad, or indifferent. But a lot of these reviewers end up giving elevated scores that, look at me, I'm such a good person. Reviews have become signaling and all that. And this article, it just is a, one-sided deal. I thought at the end the guy was going to complain about the price of eggs or something. He was all over the place. Like, at first he's saying people don't buy comics. Then he's mad because people buy them, but they don't like them.
It's all over the place, isn't it? It's crazy.
And
Jim, I think, one of the problems has become the art of criticism, of actual constructive criticism. It's not lost, but it seems to be, if you criticize something, logically, people get angry and start using all these words. It's like, wait a minute, our job is to criticize comics to say if it's a good story or not. Yeah. We're not having to go at the writer or whoever.
No.
But people see it as an attack, don't they? And this is the same thing keeps happening.
And this idea that they get, you have to give it a good review because they took some time to do it. Nope. Oh my God. Back in the day, I made a bookshelf. It took me like 3 years. The thing fell apart. Nobody was telling me that I did a good job because I didn't. And that's the nonsense. They go into this with this idea that they're there to promote the books, and that's what ends up in the whole play of this. Again, the apathy gets rid of a lot of the people, and the people that are left are the passionate fans, like Josh said, like sports fans, and they're going to get upset and they're going to go, but sometimes that's just, and maybe it's an older thing, but that's just what you do. You just, complain about stuff.
I mean, they even made a movie on it, where sports fans get real crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've seen sports fans get violent, and, it's a real thing. And we've had death threats, to comic. It's not always Tom King, you know what I mean?
Agree. And that's the real bad side of it. But again, in this article, you don't people take it too far. That's
the very far. That's like the farthest you go. But in between, there's insults that happen. When we're questioning, people. It's one thing to question someone's ability to get the job done, maybe, but then you're a pathetic waste of time.
That sort of thing.
I've done it. I mean, I jokingly will then say, I apologize to any relatives of this person. Actually, it's only in the store when I do that kind of thing.
I've got to read Aaron's comment real quick. By the way, Aaron Sparrow, co-host of Culture Popped on Tuesday nights on Public Culture. Come watch.
Nice plug.
But he wrote, I took some time to take a shit. It doesn't mean it should sweep the Ringo Awards.
This just in, Aaron just won a Harvey for that shit. It just was
Harvey.
Congratulations, Aaron. He did it.
How dare you. Harvey needs something better than that.
No.
I think
exactly.
You have no idea how good of a shit that was.
Well,
Maximum effort. We live in this weird world now where everything's got to be definitive. You either like it or you don't. You're a good guy or you're a bad guy, you know. And I think that's what's killing it. But you're always going to have those people that go to the extremes, you know, that start violence or whatever, or death threats. And like, we need to understand there are those people out there and they're crazy and don't listen to what they have to say. And then I think too, I think what Gray was referring to, there are people that are, we'll just say, bad characters. And, you know, the only thing they're going to do is they'll have their channels or whatever, and they'll go on and be like, this is a dumpster fire. This is shit. This is, you know, dog, whatever. And then they don't provide anything else into their assessment of why it's bad. Yeah. They just talk about how terrible it is with no actual assessment. Like, that does no good. And to the other end, people will shill for things, and it's the best thing ever, bestest ever, but don't explain why they actually liked it. And it's fine if you like something and I don't like something, and it's fine to disagree, but be able to articulate why you liked it. And even if I can say, like, I didn't like something because, and you say, yeah, that didn't bother me, that's fine.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what you're saying is, and I think you'll agree with me as well, that when we were doing, you know, written reviews, it's easy to write a rave review 10 out of 10 because most of those people just end up saying, I loved it. And then when you question them, well, what did you love? And then they start yelling, don't get on me just because I like something. But if you end up not liking it, you really do have to lay out your reasons. And you really have to, because you then look like a jerk. So it ended up, the negative reviews that I've written over the years, they really did help me overall in the main whole deal. But I've been called toxic so many times, and I don't really think I am. I'm kind of in that middle range. I just rate everything for each individual issue, no agendas or anything going in, but people don't like that, like you're saying. They really do like the polar opposites in the deal, and you kind of get stuck in the middle, especially on YouTube, where, you know, people end up getting upset if you suddenly like last week's Amazing Spider-Man more than what had been coming out. People lose their minds just because you changed, you know, your opinion with one issue, and it gets frustrating.
I feel that there's pushback on I feel like I've pushed back a little harder when I see people super hating on stuff. But that's more as a fan, you know, let's get in a little bit of a fight about this, you know, which is, I think, very common in comic books and in sports fandom, and pretty much, I'm sure there's a Broadway channel where they're doing that too.
Yeah.
You know, how dare you? Andrew Lloyd Webber's the best. What are you talking about? That guy's a fucking hack, you know, or whatever. Number one seller of all time. Well, I'm not talking about Tyler Perry, you know, whatever.
Those are great garage conversations when you have a beer,
exactly.
you're sitting there with your buddies, and you have a little bit of a fun conversation.
And
it's a little bit more difficult when you have to explain what all this stuff is.
And maybe it's one of the things when we talk about fandom and sports, say NFL, like some idiot comes on and says that the Chiefs actually did win last year's Super Bowl. When they come on, but the thing is, the NFL is so popular and so big that you kind of, you know, you can just yell and scream about your team and people, oh my God, they're so passionate. They're so big and great. But then with comics, because they're failing, and all of a sudden we get fingers pointed at us by acting the same way. But it's not the toxic fandom that's, you know, killing comics. They're the ones that are still passionate about things, whether or not it's, you know, up or down or whatnot. But since comics are failing, I think that they're just looking for anybody to blame but themselves.
Well, here's the thing about the comics failing part. And comic fans are put in such a bad position because it is a demographic, and you know, it's not strictly one group, but you know, you have a general idea of what a comic book fan is. They've been making books not for those readers, and then they wonder why the readers give them feedback that's negative. Like, this isn't a superhero comic. This is a slice of life comic book. This really isn't transferable into this medium the way that you're doing it. It doesn't really work for these characters. You're not highlighting what makes this character do great. You're only trying to tear them down or whatever. And then you're the bad guy because they decided to make a product that you consume, but it's not aimed for you, and it's not really aimed at anyone that actually consumes it. What the hell are we supposed to do? Just sit there and take it, Doc?
And they
Yes. Yeah. Take it, bitch. Take it. Don't even ask for lube. Yeah, no, this is. Look, we've talked about this, and watching this industry fall all over itself. At this point, we're all just amused by it. We don't care anymore. You set yourselves on fire. I'm literally.
I have a YouTube
I get it.
I want the industry to get bigger.
I don't. This is why I don't have a channel, because at the end of the day, I'm sitting here watching these people douse themselves with gasoline, play with matches, and wondering why they're getting themselves on fire. They're fucking retarded. That's why. That's what it comes down to. And this author, whoever wrote this article,
Neon thinks it was chat.
well, yeah, I know. Neon actually might be right. I still believe that it was Frankenstein together from somebody's recycling bin from 2018. But sure, why? Either way, it's got all old data. But no, like, look, these people bitch about gatekeeping, yet they've spent the last how many years telling everyone else it's not for you? How much more gatekeepery can you get?
Well, that's what I was about to say too, Doc. Like for at least 10 years now, I think you've had a growing voice of people saying like, I don't want this, whether it's verbally or with their money, saying they don't want certain things. And then, when we were complaining about it, I guess on a larger scale, more people were complaining about it. You had the whole, like, if you don't like my politics, then don't buy my book. So guess what? We stopped buying your book. And it wasn't even because we didn't like your politics. It was because you couldn't deliver a good story or good characters.
Yes.
And then now, because we did what they told us to do, we're bigots and racist and homophobes and, like whatever your checklist is, just start marking the checks, because that's what we are.
But it doesn't feel like that reaction's happening in 2023. That's the weirdest part. Are there a few people out there that maybe go a little bit too far? Yeah, but 5 years ago, a lot of people were freaking out when they realized exactly just how bad things were about to get.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're not having that reaction. We're just literally saying, yeah, nope, that's not for me, I'm
It's
out.
totally changed. It's totally different to how it used to be. You're right. Yeah, but they're painting us with the same brush. They're saying we're all that, that tiny little minority.
Well, we stopped buying in. We started stopping buying in 2012 when they started changing everything, and then they didn't seem to understand why their sales were going down. So around 2015, 2016, we started telling them why we stopped buying. We decided to give context to the data, and then they bitched about us giving context to the data. And so around 2019, 2020, we stopped doing that again, and we went back to just not buying, and now they're acting fucking stupid, like they don't understand what the problem is, and somehow, like it's still 2018, and we're still giving them context for why we've stopped buying. This is the death throes of a fucking industry.
And basically, Tevye said, so basically the solution is to give up? No, I haven't given up. I still have my channel, and I still point out where things go right and where things go wrong, and I still try to provide context to the information that is out there. And I've got a couple of videos lined up that should be coming over the next week that they're going to be tough to swallow for a lot of people. And for a lot of people, it's going to be, oh, it's actually worse than I thought. That's not good news.
Wes, just briefly, going back to that article, I know it does seem to be written by an AI, and it uses the word toxic 6 times just in that article. It's by a guy called David Harth, and it says he's had 3,300 different articles published over the years. There you go. Whatever.
Legit, I actually went to that guy's Twitter, and you want to see a shit show go there. You'll really get some.
Leave the guy
You'll
alone.
really get some hot takes there.
No, leave the guy alone.
It's bad.
It was so bad, that article.
It's
It really
not good.
pissed me off. Seriously. Just like, fuck.
My math on that says that means he's been writing an article every day for 10 years and nobody knows his name.
Yeah,
He's a good cheer.
it's like it's just a bunch of top 10 articles. If you go and look at what he's done, it's like, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, is he the guy that was like the top 10 things to not put up my butt without lube? I'm pretty sure I saw that article on the CBR before.
Number one light
That's
bulb.
an interesting one. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Let's hear what the peoples have to say. Federico de la Casa, JMS is always a great start, but no good ends.
Yeah, I don't disagree for the most part.
He's the Tom King of the 90s.
No, I don't think. I mean, he does. He's more like, a gymnast that finishes their routine, but then doesn't stick the landing. You could give him a solid score, but
Josh Williamson.
Yep.
maybe not that
Where do you
bad.
get from? That guy never sticks the landing.
That guy falls.
Callum says, "Yes, we are so toxic for having free will. Plus, they told us to F off and not buy and so on and so on, like Mark Brooks is in a tantrum."
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I never had a conversation with any. I mean, we should never be seeing these, and people shouldn't be doing video interviews if they're comic creators. But that's the world that we live in now. So you get your sound bites from everybody, even if they're just some drunk fighting somebody on a street, or
That's in
some
sports
chick in a
too.
plane.
You watch, was it First Take? Stephen A. Smith. Patrick Mahomes needs to retire. He ain't got it no more. It's like, okay.
That's
buddy.
who was the
It's
NBA
happening.
guy that was like, I don't want to talk. It's like, you guys always ask the same stupid question. He didn't even say this much. He just had one line that he kept saying, and I'm forced to come out here and talk after this damn game. And it's like, it's ridiculous. There always used to be surly players that wouldn't get interviews with people, and they don't want to like put that out there. They're smart. So saying that, don't buy my comic if you don't like that really, it's not that big a deal if you think about it, but
It's not smart business to dare your customer to walk away.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, no,
It's
not at
definitely true.
Because it doesn't
she's
just
not
affect
talking to her
the
customers
writer,
when she says
it
that.
affects the inker, it affects the penciler, it affects the colorist, it affects the distributor, it affects the comic book retailers. It's not just her that she's asking people to walk away from.
And I mean, and there's been other people that have done it too. It's like, I want everybody to read my book. I want everybody to let me know what I'm doing and if it's good and how I can change it. It works if you're
Stephen King and you're one of the best-selling authors in the history of the world, and you got fuck you money.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have worked if it was Stephen King in
When he was still
1978.
Richard Bachman.
Yeah,
Richard
and nobody
Bachman.
knew what the fuck his name.
Yeah.
What the fuck his name was.
Totally, Doc. I mean, you gotta build your credentials, and
You got to reach the ability to to tell everybody to fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to do the Harry Potter lady.
Yeah.
Eventually, you become undeniable. There's nothing anyone can do about it. The Doctor says CBR was having trouble finding a new content. It's why they dug up an article from 2018's recycling bin. Yes.
The Doctor.
Yep.
You are the Doctor. That's where he gets it from. It's not. That's like your real name is the Doctor, and I just call you Doc for short.
Everybody does.
How's your TARDIS?
Except for
wrong. It's spelled with
your
a
boy
K.
Zach.
Oh,
It's a different
Are you a
TARDIS.
guy, Doc?
It's smaller on the inside.
The retardus.
How's your retarded?
My retardus. Everywhere I go, things get retarded in it.
Who's the artist of this channel? In the comments, we need a retardus drawn, please.
Yes. Yes.
Please.
MH
Please
hashtag Comics Invictus says New Mutant Miss Marvel will have 60 variant covers to celebrate the most important X-Men character in the last 60 years.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only way they're going to turn a profit is by selling the same book to people.
60.
multiple
Is that
times.
real? Is that a joke?
No, but I wouldn't doubt it.
It might as well be. Bleed.
They've had over 60 odd books. I remember Dan Slott's Iron Man had.
FF had 74.
Yeah, Iron Man had over 70.
No way.
Because it was the same cover, but it had a different version of his armor in the back for every one of them.
DC did the Justice League of America, or the Justice League, when they had like all the states. Yeah, it was of America, and then they also had a Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah,
on it?
same with this. Marvel did around the exact same time. Marvel did U.S. Avengers with the same thing. Every state.
Does anyone like? I think when they're thinking of concepts for comic books or stories, are like, what can we generate the most variant covers for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can only get 5 variant covers out of that concept. We cannot make that book. Federico de la Casa. I used to spend €200 in comics monthly. Now I reach apathy for all entertainment. Only Strange New World is good for me. And some
Star
manga.
Trek. Yeah.
Star Trek, Strange New World. Well, that sucks. That's where you don't want your fans to be.
Well, isn't that kind of like getting older anyway? I mean, I would rather see a movie I know like crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen it many times rather than like spend time to like see something new. I'm kind of like that with my comics. Less so because of the story, but
I like new stuff. It's just it's got to be the right flavor. Although,
it's got to sprinkle in with all the other stuff.
I just started rewatching Home Alone. Not Home Alone, Home Improvement. And God damn, that show smells like stand up. Like you go back and watch Friends, and it's awful. It's unwatchable.
Agreed.
I started from the beginning. I couldn't take it. I skipped to the 3rd season. I still couldn't take it. Put on Home Improvement. Amazing from the very first episode. I don't know. Maybe I'm not apathetic. Maybe I'm just old.
That could be.
It's just making bad shit.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of that also. I mean, it's a child's entertainment that we're hanging on to, and the people that
it hasn't been kids' entertainment for a long time now.
I know, and I think that's part of the problem. If we're really talking about why we're not getting new readers in, it's like it's not because we need like super representation, although that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's like we need focused, well-written, well-drawn stories, and it could be with represented characters.
I don't think representation
would
ever make anyone stop reading comic books.
Right, exactly.
Maybe if there are, it would be measured in the dozens, maybe. But bad representation or forcing characters that you like to be like wholesale changed for the purpose of representation to where it's completely it's completely there for everyone to see. It's not even hidden. You know exactly the motive that they're doing it. It's not for the best purpose of the character or the universe, but simply for representation. That turns people off.
It's not about story. Yeah, exactly.
Like there have been some good DC and Marvel comics in the last 5 years that were for younger readers. The Teen Titans. When
Strange
they had
Academy's great.
Strange Academy. Those are like the 2 standouts. Those are the kind that like I'm an adult reading a comic for younger readers that I'm not insulted reading, and they're not insulted reading, and it's really good. But you don't get that much. Instead, you get, an Avengers run that is incomprehensible for anybody reading it.
Oh yeah, because it's not Avengers, it's Avengers Forever and Avengers Beyond.
And then you're talking about price. It's not kids do spend money. I mean, they have their cash apps or whatever the hell it is, that they're using, Venmo. It's on my phone, and so they spend $5. They don't have a problem with that. They would just rather have Pokemon or Magic cards,
Yeah.
Yeah, because the value proposition. And Jim just did some original art for Doc.
That's awesome.
That's why I had to duck aside and did my retardus.
It's bigger on the outside.
Yes, it's smaller on the inside, like our brains.
Gal says Josh is 100% right. In my opinion, they want an enemy because their favorite enemy isn't the White House. And they think they're victims of criticism.
Yeah, and people take things personally too. Like, not to throw them out there, but I feel like Fatal J has been taking it super personal. That I'm like, hey, Secret Invasion is not good for me. And every time I make any comment, which I'm reviewing it weekly on a friend's channel, so I'm making comments weekly. Every time he's like slipping in, like, man, I bet you like this, and I'm like, it's a completely different project. But yes,
your
I
mama's
do like
fat,
that
isn't she, Josh?
Huh?
Your mama must be fat. what you think about Secret
and I'm just
Invasion.
like, all right, cool.
Look,
It's like
ride
what I
that.
told Jim. I was like, you can't get mad at everybody that says something bad about you.
Every single person.
Every day somebody
Yeah.
says something
Every
bad about me
single
on my channel. I don't care.
Josh,
you.
ride that hate, get the channel views. Really fight with Jay on this one. I want you to
I
keep
You
think
guys
it
can have a
going.
YouTube beef.
You can
I think
do
it's
it.
time for a heel turn, right? Like I should,
Either or.
bring out the McDizzy.
That's the problem. It's like when you have Shayna Baszler and you want to get her over as a heel, but you have her attack Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Nobody's not going to cheer you on for that. You need to find
Your
somebody
fans
else
like
to
that.
attack the Fatal J. You should have attacked Gray because he seems like a nice
right.
guy.
Sully and Gray.
That's to let us know how big a shit heel you are.
Yes.
Then you can go to Jay because that's your real competition. So you should start small. I agree. Yeah.
HH and the crew from Sigma Comics, greetings to the Thinking Critical team. The Calico replaces the Punisher as the baddest mofo in comics. Google Screen Rant, here comes Calico. Comic-Con isn't ready. Man, you guys are taking down Comic-Con? They probably aren't ready with all these strikes that are going on, but congratulations on all the success and having the baddest dude in all of comic books on your team. Now that the Punisher has been Marvelized, I guess that would be the
Neutered.
word for it. Neutered? Man. They should just have HH write the Punisher book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Dahlia in the Dark by Joe Corallo was very action-packed. And as I was reading it, I was thinking, this guy who could do an action comic at Marvel.
I was so confused by that book because the name made me think of like the Black Dahlia.
Yeah,
And
without
I
a
thought
doubt,
it was
yeah.
going to be some type of like crime noir thing
True
from
crime
the 40s
type
or something.
noir.
Then I got in the book, I was like, oh, this is not that. This is like futuristic, like action-based, like shit going on here.
Yeah, they had like a Fey land, and then it was a strange, but I think like conceptually he was able to make it happen, which is
No, it's good.
pretty good because there's not everybody's going to get into that, but as far as like the shooting and stuff like that, he did a really good job, or at least it was scripted out to make the artist succeed.
Joe Corallo appreciates the classic interpretation of the characters too much to ever be hired by Marvel or DC.
Don't say that.
Unfortunately.
We need a Legion or something like that.
Yeah. He would do too good of an interpretation. They wouldn't let him do it. You haven't modernized it yet, Joe. Gobbin says, I agree about without the thriving of DC and Marvel, indie comics are dead as well. Why every time DC and Marvel do something stupid or ruins, indies have to suffer as well. Indies do want an audience. It's just kind of the way it is when you have the established brand, and then you have not really knockoffs because these are some of them are obviously, but these are original stories that are being sold in the same place. If the name brand isn't hot, no one's going to see the stuff to the side of them because they're not going to show up for that stuff.
Yeah,
there just aren't enough people that show up to a comic book shop solely for indie entertainment these days. Unfortunately,
Almost nobody does.
It's always that way for the most part. I
Yes.
mean, the indie explosion was in the 80s.
yeah.
the best
there's
comic
been
books
good
being
companies.
produced today, Yule, are indie comic books.
Agreed.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree.
Yes.
But
I
they
would
still
say-
don't put asses in seats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
You
manga.
know, like if Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman are doing a Marvel or DC comic, that's gonna sell triple, quadruple, I don't know, maybe whatever it has to be, more than they do when they do Vanish, and it's just the way it is.
Doc
And
had
that's
the
not
great
even really that
about
much of
the
an
mall.
indie book.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
like you got your mall and it's doing all right, and you got your little indie stores and your Hot Topics, and you got your ear piercing place, and you got your flower
no
shop
one's
on the
going
inside.
for Mrs. Fields. They buy Mrs. Fields afterwards. You know?
But
Either
once
way.
Sears goes out, once J.C. Penney leaves, and the big store that everyone's going there to do the clothes shopping
Hot
and get
Topics.
some other general appliances or whatever, once those are out, the mall just dies.
Yeah.
You end up with a comic book shop and in a a kebab place, and that's it.
If only.
Yeah.
and probably like a wig place also.
Well, maybe there's
Those
a
are
wig shop
popular.
as well.
Yeah.
Wraith X7 says, I think that the new Punisher might actually turn out to be Nigel Higgins. Based on the character's history, the new symbol gives it away.
What is it? A Union Jack skull?
I thought Nigel's symbol was different though, because his had the, I don't know.
I want to see that on the back of a truck, a Union Jack Punisher skull.
Cool.
Get to work.
So
Jim.
his is yellow, and it's basically the traditional Punisher symbol, but it's got the skull and crossbones going through the teeth. That's what I see. Is that what's on the
so it's
promo
Grim
art?
Reaper?
Is that what's on the promo art, Doc?
No, I don't.
You couldn't really see.
I didn't see.
I couldn't
Maybe.
see the new one.
I wouldn't be
but
surprised, but it would be better for them to go out there and pick up a Punisher-like character, I guess.
The new
Yeah,
one's almost like the black of the shirt is the skull, and then you have like the white eyes, the 2 slots for the nose, and the teeth.
kind
type thing.
of Punisher 2099 style. If anybody remembers what the Punisher 2099 design was.
There you go.
I erased that from
Interesting
my
stuff.
memory.
Japanese demon lord Abir Lucifer. My goodness, what a name. There's a manga about a guy turning into a killer shark. Here's some straight superheroes now gay. I wonder why comics is failing.
Well, I might not read that manga.
It's a good premise
about
for a
guy.
book, though. It makes you interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. If only it was like done by Marvel.
Because you got Kaiju number 6, where it's a dude turning into a kaiju.
Yeah.
It's a pretty damn good story.
And whether or not they're saying in the Chainsaw Man, the one character is a guy kind of shark devil.
I was thinking that.
He's turning into a
Yeah.
chainsaw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a. When you put it that way, I don't know why this is happening. Rayback 7. Also, last year's Punisher co-creator Jerry Conway suggested that Marvel make a new Punisher who was black. Looked like Marvel took his suggestion.
Yeah, that'll really piss the people off that like the Punisher, some dude who's black going around shooting fools. Maybe the Brit.
They're not going to be mad about that. They're just going to be mad that it's not Frank Castle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's conflating what people are really like.
In 2018,
It's a
I
wrong
believe
diagnosis, is what it is.
Marvel thought and DC thought that these ideas were shields to where if we do this change for the sake of diversity, it was criticism proof. And they found out that that wasn't true, but they continued to kind of go back to it.
They also thought that Marvel and DC always think that, I mean, back in the day, they used to think that only the characters sold the comics and it didn't matter who the creator was. And we saw that didn't exactly come true when the Image guys left. But now they've not only convinced themselves of that, but they've convinced themselves that only the name and the costume matters, not who the character is wearing the costume.
I mean, also, if this new Punisher is black, like whatever, it's not Frank Castle that's going to bother me. If you give a good story, cool, great. But if they bring this new Punisher and he is black and he does the exact same things that the Punisher does, what was the point? Because you still have the same problem that these people supposedly have with the Punisher, except now he's not white.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Josh. These morons think that if they make the character black, all the police officers and military people who are using the Punisher symbol are bigots and racists, and they're just going to abandon it now because now it's
100%
associated with a
think.
black character. They don't realize no one cares.
Yeah, no idea.
They just think it's a cool symbol.
Cool symbol. Yeah.
Cool
It's
symbol.
like that dude that worked for CBR that has the article and saying everyone's toxic. And he literally thinks by writing that article that he fought bigotry that day, that he actually punched a Nazi in the face.
Well,
He doesn't
don't
have a
stuff-
concept of the real world, what he actually accomplished, which was nothing.
There's
other than to annoy some people.
a little bit of a side note. There's a show on HBO called The Other Two, and it totally makes fun of the industry. But one of the characters is a female, and she's an entertainment manager. And in one of the seasons, she decides to quit her job because she's going to go do good in the world. She wants to do good. So she walks out of her house, and she's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So then she changes her Instagram headline to hashtag Black Lives Matter, and she's like, fuck yeah, doing good.
Exactly. I think that's the world we're living in. That's why it feels so strange. Eric O'Sullivan, the Sultan of Soup. In my honest opinion, race swaps in comics and animated live-action adaptations aren't about diversity and representation. It's about postmodern theorists entering pre-existing spaces to disrupt. Cheers and chat to the panel. That was
listen to him.
beyond my level of thinking.
Wow.
Soup and philosophy.
Look at that.
And sometimes mystic religion or something like that.
Yes. A lot of times even the swaps are just because they can't come up with any new ideas. So they just throw that out.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I can't create a
yeah.
new character because I'll get stolen from, so just make them black or change their whatever,
It's
disposition.
well, it's also it's
a costume change, Doc, is what
yeah,
it is.
You're not wrong, but it's also about that. There's this weird theory that the fix for past discrimination is present discrimination. That's the way you fix past discrimination is by discriminating the other way in the present. But so it's this idea of vengeance as an equalizer. So it's not about building something else up. It's about ripping. You can't just make your own thing that is equally as cool as the thing that exists. You have to take the other thing, rip it down, and replace it. So you can't have a second statue right next to the first statue. You have to tear down that statue, put your statue up in its place, and then convince everyone that your statue was better than the old one.
It's deconstructing characters, Doc, isn't it? Deconstruction.
Well, yes. It's deconstructing culture. It's cultural vandalism, cultural carjacking, and cultural gaslighting all at the same time.
There you go, Eric. You pulled out the wordsmith in Doc. I was having a conversation with Aaron Sparrow the other day, Doc, and he said someone was in the comments was saying, Aaron's so smart. I just wish he was as funny as Doc. Aaron said this to me, and I said, I don't know if you know this.
That was Jim on it with that comment.
Doc, he comes off as a little bit crass, but he's actually really well read, and there are very few things that I can bring up that Doc actually doesn't have a pretty well-founded opinion on. So he's smarter than you too, Aaron. And he was all mad at me. He saw it coming, and I still got it. It was obviously longer than what I just did there.
Huzzah.
I took his mind off of it.
But I love Aaron.
Absolutely.
I love Aaron, and he always challenges me to think better. So,
Mythogenesis Studios representation is dumb to worry about. As a black person, my favorite Marvel character was Thor. Movies was Luke Skywalker. Character traits, not skin color.
Yeah, that's a thing. Definitely Thor.
Yeah, it's like when you watch Men in Black. Which
I
character do you want to be? Do you want to be Tommy Lee Jones or do you want to be Will Smith?
Will Smith.
Man.
Will Smith, because he was the cool character that was doing the cool stuff.
He's
It's
funny.
about what you have the character do, and people are gonna attach themselves to them.
But now I'm more like Tommy Lee Jones, and I'm like, I've seen this shit.
you're
You're
old.
just
Me
like,
too.
you're like,
You're by
oh,
the
this
book.
just dumb kid's running
was thinking
in
that.
there. I'm
Status
gonna
quo.
walk, and I'll meet him right there, and everything. You think you know something?
Like
That's
I
what
remember
comics are like,
in the '90s. Growing up, like you want to be more black, I guess, because that was all like all the cool guys on MTV, right? They had
Sway.
the fun
I don't know
culture.
if I don't know because like I don't ever really I don't know, it's hard to talk about it. It's like I don't ever see myself as like, oh, I want to be this. It's
I didn't
like
mean it
more
that
like,
way, but they were
I
like the
understand.
ambassadors of cool.
No, yes, exactly, and that's the thing, and that's a great thing about America, especially like all cultures come in, we're influenced by stuff, and eventually it becomes what it becomes, and then we have to say, oh, that sucks, and now there's something new, that sucks, depending on how old you are.
Yeah, it's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? You got the leader Leonardo, you got the smart techie one in Donatello. You've got the hothead that's more physical in Raphael, and then you have the lighthearted kind of goofball in Michelangelo. And everyone's got a favorite because that's the one that they kind of...
Right. I didn't want to be a turtle.
Did you see Well, I didn't want to be a turtle, but I was like Raphael because I
Raphael's
was
the
the middle
best.
child and I
Yeah.
was a little bit high-headed.
And
He's
I think
the
that's
best turtle by far.
I
And
was
that's the
very
thing,
much
you
a
know.
Michelangelo guy.
and we don't have. I mean, I can read Steel, you know, and it's not like I have to be represented. It's nice to have something that you can look at and say. And I mean,
Yeah, I didn't
You
watch
know,
Men's
I've
Society
had
going, where's the
everything."
white representation in here? That just-
Exactly.
It doesn't fit the story.
yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, Mr. Genesis. We probably, I don't know. We went
Butchered
somewhere
it.
on that one.
Treaded all over
Federico
that.
Danacosta, guys, the facts are these writers want an excuse for their lack of creativity. Virtue signaling is a shield for their incompetence. Check D. Franklin. He makes a damn good point there, Josh.
Yeah.
I don't know if T. Franklin is virtue signaling, though. I think 100% T. Franklin is exactly the way T. Franklin is.
Yeah, I don't know what
I'm
T.
inclined.
Franklin's
I'm
doing.
inclined to believe you to agree with
VP.
you on this. She's bought into it hook, line, and sinker. This is who she actually is.
Right.
Crazy
No, it'd be
bitch.
more like me coming out and going,
I've talked to,
oh,
like,
you know.
4 people that have met her in real life, and every one of them has the same story that she's absolutely insufferable.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Clearly. She's
Yeah.
just what you see from her online is insufferable.
Yeah.
She's bought it hook, line, and sinker, but I think the reason she's bought it hook, line, and sinker is she realizes victim mentality gets her places.
Right. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would say more victim and what you said.
Yeah.
Rather than virtue signaling in that regard.
Yeah. That's why I said, like, 5 years ago, I think they thought that they could do these lazy ideas, and they were basically critic-proof because they were doing it for the right reasons, and then they found out that it doesn't really work that way, but they're still trying to get away with it. Nerd says, by the way, I will give a $50 super chat next stream if Doc reads Spider-Man Fake Red, which is a manga. Now, Doc, here's the thing. $50 is a lot of money. I've got 3 little kids. One of them is still in diapers. I'm sending
How
them
many
to
fucking
preschool.
pages? Just tell me that.
10,000.
How many pages is Fake Red? You're the manga guy, Gray.
Oh, no, I'm the guy who hates manga, remember, Wes? That's what you were saying last time.
Oh.
It's Jim. Where's Jim when we need him? He's the manga guy.
Page count.
It's
Where's-
probably, I think when
where's
I
Carol?
did read it, it's probably about 35 pages.
It says
Oh, that's it?
328.
Now that's the
Ooh.
volume. If you just read the first chapter, I don't think they're going to make
Oh, he just
him
wants a
read
chapter.
the full deal. Yeah,
Okay.
first
Oh,
it's just
chapter.
a
It
comic
is
book,
good.
right?
It's a
Okay.
good.
No, you got to read the whole
manga.
thing. Here it
Yeah.
is, right here.
Yeah, there you go. It's good.
This thick, and
Nice
let me
one,
show you
you.
the art.
Look at that.
I'm going to assume that Nerd meant the first chapter. Doc, are
Yeah.
you willing to help out the family?
He's not.
Yeah,
getting
sure.
50.
Why not?
Oh,
It's got
Holy
Venom and all
moly.
sorts of other characters.
maybe we'll get
in
the
here.
whole panel to read Spider-Man Fake Red chapter
Cool.
1. and
It
do a
looks pretty
little
good, you.
manga review.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
I read the first chapter or 2, and it is the first chapter. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Doc, if
Different
you
than I thought.
if you read it digitally, it's not backwards for you.
Well, it
Okay,
depends on
there
the
you go.
reader.
Oh,
They
that's
do-
true.
Like, you have to put it
And
in
you
manga
still have
mode.
to go this weird way too.
I'll do a
Yeah.
couple more. Look at
But
that.
that's the fun of it.
Sweet.
It does look really good.
It does look good.
I mean, it's
I'll
still.
read
I
it.
mean,
I don't
it's
care.
it's still manga, you know. So it's hard to get past
And-
that for a lot of people. But it's textured. It's nice.
Does it still have the American names? Because that's where it's really going to throw them
The
off.
Yeah.
names, yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't want to give the idea of this story away.
Peter Parker is now Shinsuke, and
Yeah, you'll know what I mean later.
all right, there you go, Doc.
All right.
Nerd,
fine,
he's
I'll
taking
read
me
it.
up on it. We're going to read chapter 1. We'll talk about it.
I don't know if I'll have it done by next week because I got a shit ton of work to do.
It's 30 pages, Doc.
Oh, okay.
Just chapter 1. You don't
Oh,
have to
just
read the whole
chapter
thing.
1. Okay.
Sigma from HH or HH from Sigma Comics. Comics today are too expensive. Ours will never be over $2.99. Gabe just gave us gave issue 3 8 stars. Gabe and Josh review them, and you will sell them. Try it out. Well, that's awesome. They are too
do.
expensive. We just had a $9 issue number 1 from Marvel,
Oof.
and I was reading an article, and the retailer said it affected the interest in the book. Shocking. Or did your Ultimate Invasion sell out there?
Yeah, I did.
There you go. You're lucky.
Ooh.
A lot of other places, I guess, over-ordered, or I don't know. They were holding the bag on.
Well, I mean, I have I know how many customers I have. I'm not
You know the
expecting a lot of people coming from outside. I'm hoping from people outside. I don't, and I could get screwed getting stuff without people letting me know. But it was good enough. It looked good enough, and it was expensive.
It had Brian
but
Hitch on it.
if that's the only book you're getting that week, because you don't buy a lot of Marvel or DC, I only buy Jonathan Hickman. They're going to be really super happy, and they're not going to have a problem with a $9 book. But if it's on top of your Spider-Man and Avengers and whatever DC you may or may not get, or any other Image books, that $40 purchase is now $50 or even higher depending on what you get. So it can affect you depending on how you buy comics. If you're a flighty comic fan, Ultimate Invasion is perfect.
You're disgruntled already?
No, not at all.
Hey,
No.
Yul,
Yeah.
did those wildly overpriced, non-discounted foil covers come out yet?
So what I did was I got a 14% discount on the Ultimate Invasion foil cover. So
I'm
an
only
$8.99 book cost me $8.
I'm only interested in the Hulk 181.
Oh yeah, I did. So all right, so the Hulk 181, you need one? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll pull it aside for you. I got one still.
cool.
There you go.
All right.
Jeez, Doc, you're helping Marvel do something bad to retailers.
He already fucking bought them.
Well,
Yeah,
I
not
guess
only
you're
that,
doing him a favor now.
I looked on what they were selling them on eBay for, and I just undercut them for my customers in the store. So totally, I made the money back, and I'll send that to you, Doc.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Were these the facsimile version?
Yeah.
Anybody want a real version? My
Hulk
LCS has
181?
one.
Foil cover.
Huh?
This is the foil cover.
Oh, the foil cover. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if anybody's giving away free Hulk 181s,
No, not free. Buy.
What are they selling it
Buy
for?
one.
What's the selling for over in Texas?
I'll have to ask. I'll go check it out. So
Yeah, post that for them on Twitter.
yeah.
Rate that 7. Nigel Higgins no longer kills criminals and used some cosmic magical device to resurrect everyone he had killed. Well, now I don't want to root for it.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Doesn't it? It was like when Wolverine was having all those nightmares about all the people he killed. It was like, for the most part, you were on the right side the whole time. There ain't no innocence in those nightmares you're having. You'll be all right.
I preferred it whenever he was having a fever dream because he was dying. And he started hallucinating Captain America and the Black Widow while Jubilee was dragging his ass around
I thought you
Madripoor.
were going to say she was shooting fireworks over him. Celebrate his death.
He's really getting a PTSD or something. She's just adding to it now with fireworks.
The Bird says, that's anti-racism, taught in critical race theory.
Is that such a thing?
Yeah.
No, not the anti-racism.
No, yeah. It's
Oh, okay.
it's where the remedy for past discrimination is present discrimination against the previous discriminator by
Okay,
the
that makes
discriminatee.
I thought it was just self-loathing or
No, all it is.
My
Loathing?
mom, who was a
Oh.
pretty bad drug addict, told me, Wes, 2 wrongs don't make it right.
It's intellectualizing get even with him-ism. That's all it is.
Oh, there you go.
He also says Ronnie in Rascal Superdog says he will match that $50 if Doc reads it, but I don't know if that's for an additional chapter.
Yeah.
I'll read a couple chapters. It's fine.
All right, we can do 2
Not a
chapters.
problem.
It's going to be good. Manga reads faster anyway.
It's good.
It reads
man.
really fast.
Yeah.
Fast read.
Absolutely. I'm kind of excited after seeing that art. Like, I'm down for the cause. I'll probably end up reading that whole damn thing, to be honest with you. So, Thank you very much. And I don't mind, I don't think Doc is going to be as tortured as much reading this as he was for Fallen Friend.
I don't think so either.
That was not a quick read, Doc.
No, it was not. It felt
pretty
like
dull.
about 4 hours.
What did you learn at the end of it? Everyone
Um,
loves Kamala Khan. She's great.
Everyone, even people that she never interacted with, she was their hero.
Yep. We got Miss Marvel, the New Mutant, the new book that's coming out with the obviously giving away that we are all correct that they are going to resurrect Kamala Khan as a mutant so they can, I guess, synergize the comic book character, which has obviously been in existence a lot longer than the MCU version of the character. And she will no longer be an Inhuman. She will be a mutant now. And it's being written by Iman Vellani, Josh. You're a big fan of Iman Vellani. You think she's a dynamite little actress. What do you think about her comic book writing chops?
I mean, look, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not holding my breath that she's a good writer. I will say she probably knows more about comics than some of the people writing comics at Marvel right now. So that's a plus. Who knows? I would say the one positive thing is she's clearly a fan based on interviews, and not even fans of the movie. She's a fan of the comics. She's openly discussed comics. She texts Kevin Feige when he called the MCU Earth 616 and was like, "No, dude, you're wrong. Don't do this."
That's a pretty toxic behavior there, Josh. Do we want to encourage that?
Of course, we want to endorse that. Why not?
We need to know what she thinks about when Ms. Marvel was goose stepping with for Carol Danvers. You know, how she felt about that.
It might be in an interview somewhere. Who knows? Who knows?
Sorry.
The problem is, though, that she's co-writing it with pretty much a hack.
Even worse,
that
somebody that we
Sapir
know is bad.
Prasada did that dark web Miss Marvel where you had that crap-talking Mosk. One of the worst issues of the year. It was awful, and that's what kind of
also
gets
wrote
me
a couple of
upset.
episodes of Miss Marvel, the TV show that was the least viewed MCU show.
Exactly.
MCU show
So I kind of worry that Amon, who does seem to know a lot about comics, is just going to be, screwed over by this guy who just has no idea. And in the whole press release, all he kept doing is saying, "Oh my God, this Amon loves these comics. I can't believe that she knows things from the past," because he probably never did any research or knows what he's doing. So it's bad.
You know what worries me though, Jim? Supposedly, from what I'm told, Jordan D. White is like a Marvel Comics encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Like he knows the history of the entire publisher. And he hasn't produced he's only produced a couple of decent Marvel X-Men comic books during his tenure as the group editor. It turns out just liking the characters and knowing stuff about them doesn't actually translate into good books and ideas.
Yeah. And I love Amon. I think she is a gem, and I hope it really does good, and I hope she becomes this big writer. But even in her quotes in it, she was talking
Why would
about
you
how
want that for her? She's going to be a movie star. Go make movies. Don't write comic books.
But
and
she
be
could
poor.
give us. I need anybody to write something good. And
Good.
She's there in this quote though. She's doing quotes about it and ends up saying, "Oh, they just told me to write fan fiction." I'm like, "Oh God darn it! Like, why
Doesn't that make you worried?
Don't say that. Yeah. I'm telling you, talking mosques is what really makes me worry. That was so bad, but we'll see.
So they don't really care about this character at all, right?
Nope.
That's the point that I'm getting away from it. That this is.
They're making her a mutant.
Period.
Like X is the most important thing about Ms. Marvel as far as this is concerned. Not even the that and the person writing it.
Yeah. And the idea, like Jordan White, he supposedly knows, old comics. He also knows old-time mustache waxing nonsense. I hate that guy. But I think that this whole miniseries is just going to be Miss Marvel, Kamala's great. Best, the X-Men lover. That's all we get.
I haven't seen the X-Men of Krakoa talk about how amazing she is to her face.
Yeah, we have to get them.
And about how they all look up to her and maybe ask for an autograph from Miss Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Even in that press release, it says that, she gets resurrected and they send her off on a secret mission right away. I'm like, that's a bullshit move. Like, she just shows up and they're already,
she jumped the line.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of mutants.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 mutants in line. It was going to take them 10 years, remember?
I heard Franklin Richards is pissed now. He's like, what about me? I was a mutant at one point.
He's not a mutant anymore, right?
Well, he isn't.
Dan Slott didn't like them using him.
They have to even it up. So now Kamala is. Yeah.
Would it be a better, more interesting comic book? And do you think you could sell more Yul Carter if it was written by Dan Slott or Iman Vellani? So he's never actually written anything.
I would say that Dan Slott would probably write a more coherent story than I expect.
Well, would he sell more?
Okay, gotcha. It depends on how many variant covers he gets for that first issue.
Are you saying Dan Slott because you know Christos Gage is going to step in and clean it up?
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, right.
He's
there.
already the co-writer on that.
It's so
Spider-Man
funny
book.
that like I don't have a problem with Christos Gage as a writer, but when
it's good.
he's the lead, I just don't care. You know?
Did you ever read his Ninja K at Valiant?
Oh yeah, I read some of that. Yeah,
It was
fun.
amazing. That was a great
Yeah.
one.
That was good. Yeah, I read that.
I loved his Angel stuff, like Buffy and Angel, like
Yeah.
because the
I didn't
comics
read that
weren't really
stuff.
hitting it, and then he stepped in with his Angel, and I was like, damn, this is good.
Brian Hill had some pretty good. It wasn't Angel. It was the guy. No, it is Angel.
Yeah, he had Angel
Yep.
for the Boom relaunch. Yeah,
His was all right there for a minute.
yeah.
Kind of went off
Then he
somewhere.
left.
Yeah.
What happened to Christoph Gage? Wes? Is he still writing mainstream or not? Is he mainly indie?
Well,
He's
he
doing a lot of TV.
co-wrote Daredevil season 1 with his wife,
Oh,
and then apparently
yeah.
cleaning up Dan Slott's mess is like a full-time gig now. So, as far as I know, that's what he does. So, Josh, are you going to pick up Miss Marvel: The New Mutant?
I usually pick up number ones just to kind of see what
Because you're a
the
dirty
tone is.
speculator.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
not
the
even
person
that.
that's ruining the industry. Thank you.
I'll pick up number
I'll
ones.
take
just,
it right now.
I'll pick
Come
up
on
number
in,
ones
specs.
just to get an idea of what the book is, tonally, what it's like. I'll usually pick up a number one. But I mean, even with indies, a lot of times I'll pick up number ones just to see if it's good. And like 95% of what I'm buying right now are indie books. So
Should they have given away the big reveal that she's going to be resurrected as a mutant? Or do you think everyone had already picked up onto it so much that might as well run with it?
everyone picked on it so much they might as well. Well, actually, they probably think that this is a huge thing that people are gonna be like, "What? Oh my god!" But they're like, "Yeah, the fact that she's a mutant is gonna sell this book," and we'll see.
Yeah, that's
They're not
kind of
selling
like
X-Men books.
the mystery
No, I
should have
know.
been how she's going to come back to life, even if we already knew that she was a mutant. But they just, like you said, went with it and put an X on it. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
The
gets
other
a
timing
Burka
issue.
New Mutants costume.
Yeah. They end up announcing this the week that they released the funeral.
Wasn't that
No,
weird?
no.
So,
That
kinda
timing, yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but they pull that kind of. I mean, it's just like they don't
Why don't you
ever
just
let
remove
you know.
the impact that this book's supposed to have Hulk lot immediately?
Yep.
Yeah.
Would have been like releasing, announcing the return of Steve Rogers right whenever they were doing the funeral for a friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those 5-issue miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, hey, Marvel, Steve Rogers, when he died, he got 5 fucking issues. You couldn't even get one out of Kamala.
So Jim, Doc, and I sort of reviewed the best we could on Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. It was G. Willow Wilson, Mark Waid, and I believe Saudi Ahmed were the writers on that one.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't have to do a full review because there just wasn't anything to say. It was just so
I
lifeless.
talked about that. Yeah, I ended up doing a video on this, news, and I said in that I was going to review The Fallen Friend, and I ended up reading it, and I just didn't really have anything to say about it except at the end. I thought, boy, they're really not committed to Kamala being dead, which we all knew that she's going to come back anyway. But it's still, you're reading an issue, and I'm like, all right, it seems at one point it felt like it was more of a red carpet where people were fanboy and fangirling about all the heroes that were showing up, which is ridiculous. It didn't really feel like a funeral. It felt like just, hey, we're going to throw this out there. And then 2 days later, you show that anybody who bought that thinking it meant anything, they were kind of duped, and that really sucks. And yeah, I didn't really have anything, like you said, anything to really say about it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it at all. It just kind of was there. It just was a nothing issue.
It was there to validate Kamala.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we didn't do enough of this while she was alive. Let's keep doing it while she's dead. Maybe it'll actually make people give a shit that she's dead because nobody seems to care that she's dead. Please, please, please care that she's dead.
Please. And I
Wait a
like
minute,
what Josh
Jim,
said
sorry,
earlier.
Doc. Were you
Yeah.
guys not moved by the scene, where Peter Parker goes up to Kamala Khan's parents and says, "She was my hero"?
Yeah, I love that he says, "I'm going to say she was my friend, but I'm too old, so that's kind of creepy." So he
It's a
goes
bit
up and
creepy.
says, "She's my hero."
Yeah, 'cause
where's
that
the
didn't
little
make-
girl?
Yeah, that didn't make it somehow fucking
Very
better.
sus.
Oh, it was so bad. But like what Josh said at the beginning of the show, when I ended up reading, I'm like, I've said, all I have to say about this nonsense, even just during the Amazing Spider-Man, nonsense that happened. So I really didn't have much more to say, except, like Doc said, it's just validating. Oh my God, everybody loves Miss Marvel. It's just forced.
Even people that barely ever even met her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve
Bizarre.
Rogers shows up. I didn't know her, but she seemed pretty cool. Everybody's always talking about her. Yeah, right.
Everybody's all New York's a big city.
Always talking about her.
Oh, that might have been back in the War of the Realms. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that was when they
For
hooked
the
up.
for the 5 minute, you don't want to say
Yeah.
hook. She's a 15-year-old girl.
So sorry.
Ah.
Who am I, Eric Larson?
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
that. He got in trouble when he was like, "These costumes aren't sexy," and then everybody was like, "You want a 15-year-old character to be sexy?" There's been 4 Hellfire galas. She should be like in her 20s now, right?
Yeah, except for they happen every 3 weeks.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
they're quarterly.
No, it's not even quarterly. It's like a monthly of party.
They're not worth a quarter.
They should be.
It's like you throw in a month. It's like a fucking WWE pay-per-view.
That's right.
It happens every
Premium
goddamn
live
month.
event. That's what
Yeah.
you call them now.
Yeah, they're premium live events. That's what the Hellfire Gala is. Maybe they'll resurrect her at the Hellfire Gala, and maybe Nimrod will kill her again too. You know what? We should turn Kamala Khan into Kenny from South Park.
Just
Oh,
keeps
no.
dying.
She just keeps dying.
Just
yeah,
keeps
I
dying.
guess.
Oh my God! You killed
That'd be
Kamala!
great.
You
Oh, no, they killed
bastard!
Kamala.
In different people's books as well. Never her own.
All never
Yes.
her own, yeah. But she doesn't
Yes.
have one. That's why.
Yeah.
At the end of this one, at the end of this series, she should die and then just be in another book and then die.
Yeah. Every month.
In fact,
Every.
Marvel should bring back those annuals and instead of Contest of Champions, just kill Kamala in each of them. That'd be good.
Yes. And then have her resurrected in the next one, and then killed in that one.
That'd be good.
and
Oh man!
resurrected in the next one.
Now let's hope Marvel does pick this up.
And
I'm all right with it.
every single week, like you can have funeral for or fallen friend is an ongoing.
And there's always a cover with
an
someone holding
ongoing.
Kamala.
Have it as an ongoing. Yeah, where every single month
irrelevant.
everybody's going to a funeral for Kamala.
And we're giving annuals for people that don't have books right now. Kate, Hawkeye, and regular Hawkeye. They'll both be holding her. There'll be a double cover, and they'll be
One of them's got her hands, someone's got her feet. What do we do with her now?
You could write it as a cross between Quantum Leap and a Groundhog Day. That'd be pretty good.
So, I don't want to talk about Miss Marvel anymore. There were a couple other topics. I don't want to talk about the sidekicks. I do want to talk about this comics accurate Wolverine that we saw from these Deadpool pictures and how awesome it looks. Doc, I was like, we're finally going to see a real version of Wolverine on the big screen. It looks awesome.
Yeah, he's still not wearing his mask, but
Not yet.
cool. I mean, fucking Ryan Reynolds goes through the entire movie wearing his damn mask, but that's the reason why I hated Deadpool 2, because he spends half of it not wearing the mask. But yeah, no, I'm good with it. It only took you 25 fucking years.
And then we got the bad news almost the day later, Doc, that production is shut down because of the strike.
Yep.
We might not
And-
even get the damn thing. What the hell, Josh?
So
You're
Zach,
the movie
man.
guy.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised because you've had a lot of films start production within like the past 3 weeks, and I was like, why? Why are you doing this? You're gonna have to shut down. It's gonna
You already
cost
got the
you
money.
more money now. The strikes aside, I think the costume looks cool. I think this looks fun. Like, I honestly think this looks fun. Like, I'm excited for Deadpool 3. I get that Marvel's in control now. I know a lot of people are like, well, it's Marvel. It's not going to be the same thing. Like, I think Ryan Reynolds has enough clout to say, like, look, I'm going to do what I want to do. Take it or leave it. He's got his writers on there that did the first 2 films. So I think we're going to get, something similar. I think it's going to be fun.
It also appears that we might have the Aquaman movie affected by this strike, Josh.
Everything's going to be affected by this movie. Why would the Aquaman movie?
Because they haven't finished the reshoots.
Jesus Christ.
There you go.
There's a rumor out there, and I don't think I believe it, but I can see it actually happening where we might just never see the movie because they don't want to delay it.
At this point, why even take the time to do reshoots? There's no point. We know we're getting different things. Just release whatever you had, call it a day, cut your losses. You're wasting more money doing reshoots on fucking Aquaman.
See if you can do like a Batgirl thing and just get rid of it altogether and make some money.
That's the idea that could happen.
That's what I would do.
They need to go just
be a dog
or full on just fuck it, ship it.
Do the Chinese care that much?
Who cares? I mean, you might not even have like scenes just kind of like stop in the middle of them and everybody's gonna be like, yeah, well, whatever. It's gonna sound, it's gonna do the same thing.
Silent film.
There's not even like an end. It just kind of stops halfway through Act 3.
No music. Well, all you have to do is run 15 minutes of credits and then just show 5 minutes of the rest of the movie. Everybody will be happy.
And then Poochie goes back to his planet. We're good.
Yeah.
This whole thing with reshoots blows my mind. Like, I don't know what, like, get your script, film your project, stick to your plan. Back in the day, you had reshoots, but they were literally like 2-3 weeks. Like, you come in, you fix some stuff where like you had issues. Now, Samuel L. Jackson just talked about how they did 4 months of reshoots for Secret Invasion. Why? Like, it took 6 months to film the entire 6 episodes.
Refilming it.
You just refilmed the
they had to do the
show.
same thing for Echo. Because apparently it was unwatchable.
I mean, I'll say Secret Invasion I understand to a degree because now they're flipping the order of Secret Invasion in the Marvels. So now you've got to change because one was feeding into the other and now the other feeds into this one. But it's like, do your damn job, do it right the first time, at least to the best of your ability, and stop changing shit for the sake of changing shit.
Well, they're showing it to the screening audiences, and they're not
Yeah, but they're not doing any better. And with Secret Invasion, with Secret Invasion, the people that had the original scripts are blatantly being like, "Hey, this was a better show the first time around. I don't know why you changed it."
I don't know.
Anyways, Deadpool and Wolverine looks fucking awesome.
Be cool, Josh.
Yeah.
What's going on with this actors strike? Is it really going to shut everything down?
Dude, it's shutting everything down. Like, I mean, you've got because with the writer strike, you could keep going because any scripts that were purchased or like we're just waiting to be done, like you could just pick those up and film them. It wasn't a problem. Now you can't use your actors at all. They're not doing media. They're not supposed to do media, anyways. So everything is stopped. Literally, everything is stopped.
Josh, is it just me? Is it just me, or is this the worst time in the world to be doing these negotiations when everybody's losing hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion a year on their new streaming services, and they're not going to pay anyone more money?
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand your actors are not going to give you any sympathy for how much money you're losing on streaming services when their whole pay scale. No, I know, but their whole pay scale is set up, especially if you do television. Your pay scale is set up in a way that your royalties are going to kind of like give you the money to survive, and they're not getting royalties from it. So I think your actors are kind of like, hey, what you're bitching about right now is why we're striking. So, sorry.
That was the dumbest idea. Why did Disney even go down this road? They should have just kept producing stuff like they were and then selling it off to people to put on their own streaming services. Like, you can't measure stuff like with your streaming service. You don't know how many new subscribers and revenue is generated specifically by Secret Invasions. To where if you syndicated it, you could do it with the syndication fees or all that other stuff.
But they can wait. They can navigate those turbulent waters better than a lot of other places, don't you think? And if they ever need to sell stuff off, they're going to make a shit ton of money off that. So
yeah, I mean, I think they're set up
that way.
To a degree, they're set up in a better position financially than most companies, but at the same time, I think they've had 9 of like their last 10 films have not turned a profit.
But when you only care about content in the future, it really doesn't matter, I think. Like, oh, nobody watched Ms. Marvel then, but nothing's getting made now, and you want to watch something new.
Well,
I'm
and that's
watching
the other
Home
thing
Improvement.
too is
You're watching
they've
Home
already-
Improvement.
I mean, they've already said, and it's clearly we're mid-July, so the moment we hit August, if there's a strike still going on, it's going to impact the TV season. And I know that doesn't exist like it used to, but for your networks, they still have seasons that they run.
Thank
It's
God
gonna
for
affect-
Gordon Ramsay, is what I say.
Well, I mean, ABC has already come out and said that if they don't have new content, Disney Plus shows, the stuff that was exclusively Disney Plus, they're going to air on ABC. So then, yeah, you might actually get your money out of it.
But they're also
Andor is going
not.
to draw like 500,000 people on prime time.
Didn't they already try doing Andor? I think they already tried
they did.
filming or releasing it. Yeah.
Yeah, they already did
So-
that. They tried it on Hulu and they tried it on ABC. No, look, you're gonna have a lot of people that just decide to rewatch old stuff,
Mhm.
to watch stuff that they might have skipped before. This is really a terrible time for both the actors and the writers, because most of the when's the last time we had a hit new television show, like a legit hit?
Now,
like that's
HBO
cultural-
like
doesn't
Yellowstone.
count, right?
Yeah. Yellowstone's
Murders
probably the
in the
best
House.
example.
Yeah.
HBO, you have Succession, maybe.
I don't know
but
if you can really say that counts, though. It's not fair.
I wouldn't
I
consider.
mean, you need commercials in the middle of something to be a TV show to me, personally.
Okay, fair. So no
Because-
HBO.
It's like dying, or at least we feel like it is, but maybe it's not, but with the strikes, it's going to hurt it really bad.
Did you say HBO's dying?
No, I didn't
Oh.
say I mean television, real television.
Oh,
more
yeah.
people.
Cable.
Yeah, exactly like that. But I don't know. Tyler Perry's going to own BET, so let's hope that doesn't get it.
I'm gonna watch lots of sports.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
sports.
gonna
Hey,
Yeah,
man, I watched Quarterback this week. Did you
Yeah.
enjoy that one, Jim?
I loved it. It's
Did you
great.
like the final episode?
No, I hated it, but I actually do love Patrick Mahomes. I have to admit, but Kirk Cousins, he's a gem. That guy.
My wife, she's she's not a Chiefs fan, but she knows who the Chiefs are and Patrick Mahomes is because I'm a Chiefs fan. And she goes into the show, rooting for Pat, and by the end, she's rooting for Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, yeah,
'Cause he's
you
a
can't
nerd.
help it. He is such a nerdy, great guy. But that's
It's
the stuff I
he
want
just
more of.
was exuding all that dad energy.
Yeah. And then there's Mariota, who is now an Eagle.
I don't know, but it was weird. Mahomes was just cursing the entire time.
Oh my God! But they play off so well together. I mean, Mahomes can't stop dropping f-bombs everywhere. But I like that. I
Kirk
like.
Cousins is praying the whole time.
Yep, golly gee, and praying.
Honestly,
Maybe we'll get more stuff like that.
Honestly, they could ABC could probably just re-air Lost from start to finish,
Yeah.
and people would
They
watch
should
it
do all
more
that.
than they'd watch any of the new stuff that they're putting out.
And the first 3 seasons of Lost is where it's at, but then after that,
Oh, I think it was during a strike when they really fell on their ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
is. It is.
Or they had
Did
to run
Same with
Heroes fall on their
same with
ass during
Heroes.
the
Heroes
I thought
strike?
it was
really
Brian K.
started out.
Vaughan that
Galactica.
destroyed Lost. When he
Brian
showed
K.
up.
Vaughan didn't really help because he did that and he did Under the Dome, which was somehow an even worse show than his influence on Lost. But no, you could re-air some of their old stuff and it'd probably do better.
And if they put
ratings.
Game of Thrones on prime time on a real network, obviously you have to censor a bunch of stuff. But
I
that
was
thing
going
would
to
absolutely
say, I don't
blow
know if you could put
everything away.
all the titties and dong on there, and
Just
Good
pick
idea.
some-
maybe if you play after 10 o'clock. If you air it
Yeah,
after 10
judges.
o'clock, you can.
I don't know. It's probably a good thing, Josh. Superhero movies are played out. We need a rest period for superhero movies.
We do, and
Just,
I mean, the bad thing
re-energize.
is the industry. I don't know how much of a rest period it can handle. You got to keep in mind we're just coming off, the damage that was done because of all the COVID lockdowns and shutdowns and crap. Like we were just now starting to semi recover from that, And
That's
then
why
as
Indiana
we are,
Jones costs $300 million, and that's
And-
why this
Yep.
Mission Impossible costs $290.
and then you've got these movies that have the massive budgets, and then they're not even getting close in the box office. So if that was a second hit, now this is going to be a third hit. But I think it's going to force companies to tighten up and film a little bit better, and I think that's a good thing. My biggest
Scale
hope,
it down and be more character driven.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we keep talking about streaming services. Like, there's no reason you should have new content coming to Disney Plus. I bet if you stopped showing new content and just had Disney Plus as a collection for everything we have, you would have roughly the same subscribers.
I agree.
Netflix is a different story, but Netflix can be that streaming service that's like, hey, you major studio, you don't want to pick this up and release it in theaters because you don't think it'll do well in theaters. We'll buy it then. You know, because that's what they were, and they did well with that. But they're spending too much money to create new shows that, again, like you said, they don't know what their profits are. You can't get profits off of it.
I think that you may end up seeing, I think there may be one unintentional good outcome of this, a return of the mid-budget film, like the mid-budget thriller.
Like Sound of Freedom.
Yeah. Well, you're going to see that. And general, like, thriller.
Air.
What movie?
Air. Michael Jordan.
Oh,
story
yeah,
about
the Michael.
Joe.
Yeah,
The
but
shoes?
I don't think that really did it do very well in theaters.
Yeah, it made a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a
I'll-
$15 million budget.
Yeah, I think it was only in theaters for like a week too, Doc. It was just like, we'll put it in for a week and then it goes to streaming.
Horror movies will be that too. Also, I
Well,
mean, obviously.
horror's always done
Blumhouse
that.
is always doing
Yeah.
good.
But
Like this is when we're going to see something. Well, not right now at least, but as things get a little darker, we get more creative things and people doing stuff like, back when what Robert Rodriguez was like selling body parts to make movies and stuff like that.
He sold his kidneys?
No, he did experiments. Like they took out chunks of his skin and then came back 3 weeks later so that they.
Sounded like he was a
oh,
college student.
I figured he was part of the cartel.
He did all mariachi that way.
I figured it was just part of some cartel shit.
Well, that might have been also. Who knows who it was for?
He's transporting black
he got
market
his
fucking.
When
money, though.
Sam Raimi made The
livers.
Evil Dead, it took him 7 years
Yeah.
because they just filmed it when they had some money.
Mhm.
But I think you may see the return of like the mid-budget thriller and comedy that has all but disappeared in
Yeah,
the
there's no
past few
comedies
years.
anymore.
You're likely to see a return of that. That may be.
I've
the
had
big-
enough of the CGI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seeing
About
some
20 years. No.
yeah, seeing some practical effects.
Give somebody else a job for God's sakes. It's like
I'd rather just have the
aging
blood
in
packets.
comics.
You know what I mean? Just have them pop.
Yeah.
I can see that they're there. It doesn't matter. It looks better.
some fucking Boondock Saints level action movie where it doesn't need to be John Wick level.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Boondock Saints is a character-driven movie.
It is.
Buy into the brothers.
Well, you become a beast when you're an IP instead of just making one movie. Well, now I have expectations to make more money, and you have to put more money into it, and it's just like any corporation that's like on the, I have, but stockholders are the important people, not the customers.
I want to see them finish up
Totally.
Fast 12 with the budget of the first Fast and Furious movie.
right.
That'll never happen.
You
Just
might
the
you
action
can never
alone.
go back. Just Vin Diesel alone could probably cost more.
John
than
Cena's got to be 15
Yeah.
million.
that.
All
And
right,
The
Doc,
Rock's
you gotta
back.
explain this one to me. No, Doc, you gotta explain this to me. In what fucking world could anyone believe John Cena and Vin Diesel are brothers?
How can anybody believe that the chick that plays that Jordana Brewster and Vin Diesel were brother and sister in the first movie?
Papa was a
Some
Rolling
similarities.
Stone, right?
They even in Fast 7, I think it was the first one that had the chick from Prometheus and Monster.
Charlize Theron?
Charlize Theron, yeah.
Mm.
The first one with Charlize Theron, she even makes a joke about the fact that their bloodline is a little muddied because she's Greek, he's half black, their dad was Mexican, their mom is like South American.
Hey, Doc.
They have an Italian last name and an Irish brother.
Doc, how dare you spit on this imagery of America?
I know,
Okay.
man.
It-
This
it-
is
I
the
think
they
ultimate
could've
diverse
cast somebody-
movie.
Did John Cena need to be his brother? Couldn't we just have made him be like a high school buddy, but had to?
In my opinion, they should have made him like.
That sounds like red shirt mentality to me.
But
Toxic.
no, they even joke about the fact that none of them look like they could even possibly be related. Yet they
I
are
don't worry
all
about
blood
Jordana
related.
Brewster so much because she's so attractive.
I
John
understand,
Cena's not.
but it's an
No.
Italian last
That bald
name,
spot's the problem.
Mexican dad, South American mom, Greek daughter, half black son, and Irish son. Nothing here makes fucking sense. But you know what? Fuck it. Go with it.
All right.
That's
Yes.
the whole point.
I got to ask a question. Speaking of Cena, he is a guy that totally is a corporate shill for whoever
Yes.
he works for.
Always.
I'm assuming he's part of this strike also.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Everyone
Yeah, he's
is.
got to be if he wants to work again, right?
But can he go work at
well, he can
WWE?
do wrestling
WWE.
during this time for
Yeah.
sure. But other than that, he's got to not toe the company line for the first time. Weird.
All right. Let's hear for these peoples. We got a few super chats here at the end. Kenneth Dowling. Hello, fellas. I made it back from my trip to Chicago. I'm still alive. It was a great time. Hope all was well. Oh, that's
Congratulations
awesome.
on not getting shot.
Yeah, I hope you're. Hope you got the deep dish pizza with the sauce on top. That's the only way to enjoy.
But
it.
not those
Sounds
awful
good.
hot dogs there. Those things.
You don't like a Chicago style dog?
No, hate it. They're awful.
Gosh,
They're
these
terrible.
fucking Philly people, man. There's something wrong with them.
Terrible.
The Chicago dog with the peppers and all the sauces.
The tomatoes on it. That stupid,
Yeah.
bun,
Tomatoes.
the poppy seed bun.
Relish, yeah.
It's like a salad.
You can't take flavor, huh?
No, it's terrible.
Goodness. Man, it's delicious. Hopefully you got a Chicago dog. Eric O'Sullivan, at least the strike will shut down Simu Luo and stop him from disparaging the Barbie movie with his BS. I kind of want to see it. That's funny. I have a video coming up about that tomorrow that I talked with Aaron Sparrow about.
What doesn't he like about the Barbie? Isn't he in that movie?
He
Is
said
he?
that the Barbie movie finally puts the nail
The
in the
final
coffin.
nail in the coffin of heteronormative
Yeah.
behavior,
And-
something like that.
And the reason he said that was because he played with Barbies as a kid. Like, fuck off.
And he said he didn't play with Barbies as a kid,
Oh,
and that was wrong.
whatever. I don't know.
So,
Well, I mean-
somebody.
They were cool to twist the legs backwards, you know? Like, there's like the only action figure that did that, if you call it an action figure, you know, like just, you know.
And Duke wanted to scale Barbie.
Oh, totally.
Um,
Duke was a horn dog.
Yep.
Oh,
No. Look. Somebody.
But not like frickin' Lady J. She was the biggest slut of the bunch. I just want to
yeah.
let everybody know that.
But no. At the end of the day, wait. Simu Liu still exists.
Yeah, he's in the movie. He's Dr. Barbie or something. Surfer Barbie, who knows?
Oh, no.
Keta says, it's good Deadpool has Wolverine in the yellow costume. However, the Wolverine teased a real OG costume, the yellow and brown, but Deadpool 3 is shut down because of the strike. Bummer. That was a really cool tease that they were supposed to have at the end of the Wolverine doc when they cut it out.
Oh yeah, it's still in the director's cut. But yeah, where she gives him the briefcase with the costume in it.
It was good casting for Mariko or Marikio, whatever her name is. No one too. She looks so strange.
That was supposed to be Yukio.
Yukio, my bad. That's why I'm mixing
Yeah.
the names up.
Exactly. That's the reason why I can never remember fucking Japanese names, because I'm like Mariko, Yukio.
I thought it was
That's
good
the
casting.
only two he's got,
Shut up.
really.
And no, there was
Fuji something.
no, what's Deathstrike's real name?
I don't know.
Lady
Yukio's the
Deathstrike?
one that got Storm all messed up in the
Yeah.
head, right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I just want to make sure I remember
Yukio
right.
was the thief
This-
that hung out
yeah.
with Storm.
There's Yukio, there's Yukiko as well, which is a very close name.
Yeah. What the Eureka.
Oh, Eureka.
That's it. There you
Eureka
go.
is
There you go.
is Deathstrike. So you got Eureka and Yukio. Good
See,
luck.
that always confused me, actually, now that I think about it. Because
Yeah.
you don't read all the issues and you're like, oh, this is Yukio or whatever, you know. All right.
How do you do it, Gray? You live in Japan with all these names that sound so alike.
I just mumble everything, so I get away
Every
with it.
woman in this country is a name, a derivative of the name Mary. So every girl is named like Mary, Maria, is like.
Oh.
You got to tell me which one you're talking about, hon.
Which Maria is it again? Yeah.
Exactly. But hopefully it's gonna be cool. Hopefully the movie gets made. And it is exciting. I like the yellow costume with the blue and stuff. It looks good.
That's the costume.
Doc thinks it's the brown and the yellow and
Well,
tan.
I
Brown
would
and
fight about
tan.
that.
I would have preferred the brown and tan.
I think Yoel's right though. For general audiences, I think the yellow and the blue is
Because of the cartoon.
costume. Yeah,
And
because
the
that's what
video
they
game.
mostly know. But I will say you're gonna see multiple Wolverines. They're all gonna be played by Hugh Jackman. So who knows what you're gonna see?
Oh God, he's gonna be time traveling to fix the future.
He's going to
That's
get to
gonna be
be
awful.
Weapon
They're
X
gonna be-
Wolverine. He's going to be Old Man Logan. He's going to be Costume Wolverine. He's going to be Patch. He's going to be. Let's see if he's one-handed.
Can he be
that's
the
not-
P.F. Chang Wolverine?
Yeah, P.F. Chang Hot Claws Wolverine.
Hot claws, yeah.
The one-handed
That will look cool.
Age of,
That will
Age
look
of
cool.
Apocalypse Wolverine, where he's actually still Weapon X because Wolverine's a giant monster. Maybe it'll be he could be little Twinkie 1800s Victorian Western Canadian wearing a dressing gown teen Wolverine.
All right, Doc, we get the picture. There's a lot of different versions of Wolverine. out there.
Nuts.
Kenneth also says, I absolutely love Succession. I'm watching Warrior now. Great show, martial arts, period drama, love it. Is he talking about the movie Warrior with the Australia dude and the guy that was Uncle Owen in the prequel? That's a good movie.
That is a good movie. I think there is a show.
Was it Joel Edgerton?
Yeah, there's a show called Wario, and I forget who the main guy in it is. It's like set in America when the turn of the century, I think, and you got the Chinese immigrants coming over. It's great, really good martial arts, nice nudity as well.
Is he beating the piss out of him or something?
I don't know.
It's not very nice.
Love it.
Man. Do you like Succession, Josh? You seem like a Succession kind of guy.
Yeah, it was.
That was a big deal. Who was
Yeah,
going to win?
I mean, it was slow at first, and I know a lot of people didn't like it because of that, and I know a lot of people didn't like it because a lot of your main characters aren't really redeeming people. But to me, that's kind of what I liked about it. Is I was curious to see how they were gonna screw each other over. It makes for good TV. Come on.
Man, I tried to watch The Sopranos, Josh, and I never could do it. I just thought it was so boring. And now that Michael Imperioli's come out and said that I was a bigot and I can't watch a show, I'm just never going to do it.
There you go.
Good move.
Whatever, dude.
You like The Sopranos,
Really,
Wes? Really?
I didn't like The Sopranos, no.
No way.
I thought it sucked.
Somebody brought up the Wolverine that we really need, which is Aussie X-Men cartoon Wolverine from the Pride of the X-Men cartoon.
On Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends one?
No,
Is that what it was?
it was Pride of the X-Men, the original pilot for the cartoon.
That's
Man.
right.
They
The one that
remade
we
that
did-
today, it'd be a completely different show.
Yes, it would. It would just be.
All
Well, it
right,
would be
Doc.
every
I got to
episode-
get back to
every
Gray
issue
here.
of New
Can we still be friends since I didn't like The Sopranos? You seemed
Yeah.
aghast.
No, I'm just surprised. Yeah, of course we can, Wes. We're allowed to debate, aren't we, and have different
I didn't like
critical
Westworld
opinions.
either. I tried to get into that. I watched 3 episodes. I'm like, nope, this is dub.
You're
First
a Yul
season's pretty
Brynner
good.
fan.
I love Deadpool. I like
I am.
Deadwood. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
that was awesome.
Deadwood's awesome.
I love
Ian
The
McShane.
Sopranos though myself, but still, yeah, Deadwood was awesome.
Sopranos was cool at first, but then it was just, especially when they started having guest stars in it. I was like, I'm done with this. But like first season, second season, I was I was all right with it. Like
annoying.
that's enough for me personally.
I went back and watched The Wire, and I watched the entire season, like basically
That's
in a
awesome,
row.
too. Yeah.
Right,
That
it's
one
great.
got me, but
Yeah.
yeah, The Sopranos never did. Kenneth also says HBO shows on network TV do not work.
No, but HBO shows are going to Netflix.
Well, that would be smart. They can
Huh,
actually make some
interesting.
money off of these damn things.
I know, but it diminishes, the fact of having your
Yeah.
max.
Well, it's not exclusive.
No, but what they'll do is they'll have like a first season or 2 seasons, and then you'll have to go to Max to get the rest of them.
Well, 'cause
That's
it's
what
already there.
happens a lot of times.
Not bad.
I'm assuming, maybe not, but like that would be a tactic.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Kenneth needs some advice here. He says, "I have the research to write my comic. I just can't decide. Rather, do I want to give him powers like Spider-Man or not like Batman?" And I don't believe he means Spider-Man powers, but a powered character in the vein of Spider-Man. And I want it to be a crime drama. If you're going crime noir, I would say non-powered vigilante is the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. But Kenneth, pretty much, if you want to be a comic book writer nowadays, don't do any research. That's
Yeah.
going to throw you off.
Yeah.
You're going to end up not
Might
being
be too
accepted.
competent.
Maybe
Would
it's
be.
on the crime aspect of the story as opposed to the he doesn't have to worry about like past stuff.
Well,
right.
that's true. And if you're going to go crime, things like don't read Teenie Howard. She has no idea what jail is or crime or anything like that. So.
Yeah. I would if you're gonna go a is there a superpowered noir that would be
Well,
like
Spider-Man
maybe
is
I would say like
Spider-Man.
maybe
Sleeper.
Sleeper. Yes, exactly is what I was thinking. Sleeper. That's probably like the best superhero thing that's like that. Non-powered superhero Sandman Mystery Theater is really good, especially since it
Yeah.
has the crime aspect of it.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of crime you're talking about also.
Hmm.
Are you talking
Are
like
you going out there to like Seven territory? You know what I mean? With a really diabolical serial killer that's just doing disgusting things. to people?
right? Yeah. Maybe
That's a
actually
good
look
movie.
at some early Bendis stuff, like Torso. Those are
Man.
look at Torso. Trust me.
You just can't
or
look
like
at
a-
Bendis the same anymore. You know.
It's different though. He was trying hard. When you're, it's like a Kevin Smith movie, or something.
You could go with a like a Gotham Central where it's a non-powered cast going and doing crime drama with powered people in the
And
world.
that's a
Yeah.
great book.
That would
Yeah.
be called Powers.
It's so good. Yeah.
Powers.
as
Well, you
yeah.
got Powers also. Yeah.
Or you could do the Gotham TV show. That's certainly a crime drama.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I
nobody
can
was-
imagine.
You didn't like the Gotham show?
I watched the
No.
first 5 minutes and I was out. When they have like a
I
when
didn't
they
like Jada
introduce
Pinkett, but
when they
Bullock was good.
introduce you to the precinct and somebody's getting out of handcuffs, I'm out. That's it. I'm done. You're a pathetic precinct, is what you are. You're in Hill
That's-
Street Blues. I'll go watch that instead.
Here,
NYPD
problem,
Blues want to watch.
the problem
Butt
with
cheeks.
Gotham is that it's either
Side
a
boob.
show about a very ineffective cop, considering that Bruce is like 12, or it's a show that introduces us to a guy that's going to end up beating up geriatric people. Because by the time he's an adult, all the villains that he's fighting
Yeah, they're going to be
Yeah.
a whole.
are elderly.
Yeah.
No doubt. This is what you do, kiddo. Go back and watch NYPD Blue. You take Sipowicz and you give him superpowers and see what happens.
Ooh, I like that.
I think you would abuse them. It might be fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
Remember
make him a
Sipowicz
cop.
when he always beating confessions out of people
Yeah.
and making
Dude,
up evidence?
pulling
I
his
love
The
it.
last
down.
2 years of Hill Street Blues had Sipowicz in it. He was in that one, and it was basically the trial run because both programs were Botchko productions, and it's like watching early NYPD Blue. It's weird. It's
He's also the cop in the second Die Hard movie. He replaced the dude from Family Matters.
oh really? I didn't know that.
He's
didn't remember
the airport police officer guy.
All right.
He's a complete asshole. He plays it well.
That's the one with
Yeah.
John Amos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make
I
sure
hope
got
that
it
we
right.
were helpful, Kenneth. We went somewhere. Chris DeBliss, right here, the PI. If the Barbie movie is going to be banned in Vietnam, it might have a chance to be banned in the Philippines as well. Remember the Uncharted movie? It was banned because of the 9-dash line. So I was reading up on this, and they were considering banning the Barbie movie here in the Philippines, and then they said it's an absolute joke. We're not worried about it, but we would like it to be blurred. the map to be blurred, where it has the territorial disputes in the South China Sea. So we shall say. It looks like it's coming to theaters here. Although my wife saw the Barbie trailer when she went to go see Transformers: Rise of the Beasts with my son, and she wanted to see the movie. So maybe it does well. Who knows?
My wife wants to see it. She
I will say
that
that
wanted to see it.
Yeah, the trailers look really good. Like they're good trailers. It's a highly political film, and I think the ending is gonna piss people off.
Mom, that's
That's
good
what-
because
that's
I told my wife she was an idiot anyway for liking that trailer. So that's
Man,
just
you were completely different from me, Jim. I would just be like, yeah, we'll go see
actually
Barbie.
no, that's the thing.
Can we get
She'll
some
say
Korean
this.
barbecue beforehand?
She'll never see it, and then she'll bitch Mom. We're still waiting. We ended up for last year for a birthday. We were going to go see Maverick. We still haven't seen it. I bought tickets to that movie twice, and we didn't go see it twice.
It's really good.
She bailed. I
Yeah.
know. She's like the
Should've went
biggest
both times
Top Gun
without him,
fan. Then I get in trouble.
what
Then
was
somehow
thinking?
I'm trying to pick up people. Somehow. I don't know.
Jesus, Jim.
Yeah, I bought tickets for 4 tickets I bought for that movie. That's why it made so much money. Assholes like me who bought tickets and
Jim
never
kept
went.
buying tickets and not going.
I even asked her the other day we were going to watch it streaming, and she's like, okay. And then when the time comes, she always bails.
That's a damn good movie.
Yeah.
Keta says, Warrior is the show that started on Cinemax but got picked up by HBO Max. It stars the actor who was Storm Shadow in the Snake Eyes movie based on concept by Bruce Lee.
Wait,
Unfortunately, not everything on HBO Max is on HBO Go here, and I haven't seen that. But once it shows up, I'll check it out. Absolutely.
that
What was the
Storm
name?
Shot, that Snake Eyes movie was fucking terrible.
Well, it doesn't mean the actor was bad. It just might have been.
No,
bad
the guy that
creative
played
direction.
Storm Shadow was terrible too. I like the only Storm Shadow I will accept is the Storm Shadow from the first 2 G.I. Joe movies.
Jesse Eisenberg was really, really bad in the Batman or the BVS or whatever.
But he was
Yeah.
great in The Social Network. So
But he was great in Social Network, and he's also really good in Zombieland.
yeah,
You know, you got to realize, Doc, the actor isn't actually Storm Shadow. I can put it on the characters, right?
Everything about that fucking Snake
It was
Eyes
so
movie
bad
was
that you
bad.
can't forgive the actor or anybody.
Nope.
Bad.
Sometimes
Did you
it's
like
way-
the Snake Eyes movie, Gray?
I haven't even seen it. I heard it was so bad. I couldn't watch it. Sorry.
Man, you can't be listening to these toxic fans. You got to go check it
That's
out.
yes.
I made it like 7 minutes into the movie before I quit. So at least I tried. I tried that one, and then I tried to watch Mortal Kombat, the remake, and it didn't work either.
Well, that was bad too.
I love how did they make the original Mortal Kombat movie
Good.
It's just kind of
It's
campy
fun.
and celebrating the all the fun
Yeah.
stuff about the game.
It's a
was
lot of
fun.
fun, the original one. Yeah.
Honestly, the best Mortal Kombat was the YouTube series.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
with by Kevin Tancharian. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to do the new movies, and then they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, no, we're gonna get somebody else, and I'm like, stupid decision.
So one of the things that we enjoy doing here on the channel is making fun of Jimmy from Cinema Quirks, but he's made a really good point today, and we're going to end it on this one. He
Wow.
says Doc has the temperament of a woman scorned.
Yes.
Jimmy was right. Thank you very much to Kenneth and everyone for supporting the channel. Let's talk about some recommendations before we get out of here. I will have a comic book recommendations with Drew later, but we ain't got much to talk about it. Let's put it that way. So we're going to highlight a new book that came out this week from DC Comics, and we'll do a further analysis on that one. Let's go over to Gray. Are you recommending any comic books? Are you going manga? Where are you going on this?
I got 2 DC Comics recommend, believe it or not, Wes. I would go for the Night Terror's Zatanna with Cliff Steele, Robot Man in it. It's really good as an individual issue, even though it's part 1 or 2. And Batman Inc., which has... This is thanks to Jim recommending it. I've got into it now. Ed Brisson, believe
No
it or
one
not, is
listens to Jim.
he's doing a
What
good
were you
job.
They don't. And this issue I didn't give a great review for. I'll mention that, but I do like the
No,
book.
I think it's been good. And I got one more. Check this out. Joe Frankenstein, Chuck Dixon, and Graham Nolan, part 1. It's really good. It's just a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
That's the big recommendation. You got any videos or live streams people need to know about on the channel?
Nah, no one's watching them, mate, so it's not worth it even talking
No
about.
one's watching you?
Not really. I've got the summer drop, Wes. It's a summer drop.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now as well.
Yeah.
It happens. But, every once in a while...
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been awesome. Great catching up with everybody.
But definitely, you should go to the link in the video description and go and subscribe to Gray's channel. He's got some great content. You know what? He's British, so he's really sophisticated compared to the rest of us schlubs.
Yeah.
Right?
Until I get drunk.
Until he gets struck, and then his face turns red.
He becomes Irish suddenly.
Oh my goodness, that would be a bad thing. Yule Carter, you are a comic book retailer.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some big recommendations this week.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Danger Street that's coming out right now. Tom King, believe it or not, and really good artwork. What is this? Jorge Fornes, whatever.
Jorge Fornes? Great
Fornes, yeah, he's really good. I like it. And it's taking a bunch of characters at DC that nobody cares about, so you shouldn't be upset with what he does to them ultimately.
That's what Tom King should be working with.
That's the best.
And it's perfect. It's like this one character is like super cussy. There's a reason for it, but other than that, yeah, it's just the thing. A book that almost nobody is buying in my store that I keep telling people about. I've even went out there on Twitter and let people know that Immortal Sergeant is possibly the best book that I'm going to have read this year. And it's
you know why that one's not selling?
Black and white.
Because the cover sucks balls.
Yeah, the covers are it's very representative of the art inside, and I know that's going to be a problem with some people. And of course, like I said, it's black and white. But Ken Nomura is really, really good. He's expressive, and especially if you're a fan of manga, you should check it out. And Joe Kelly has never really failed me, especially when he's doing his own. Well, all right, that Bad Dog was horrible, but other than that, they worked on I Kill Giants together, and really, really good writer, and I love his stuff. And this is a return to form, and I like it a lot. And then Eric O'Sullivan in chat, and I agree. The Days of Future Past Doomsday. If you like a superhero snuff comic, this is perfect. And Guggenheim doesn't suck, and Manuel Garcia is good on art. There you go.
I should have read that one. I checked out of.
If you're a fan of Days of Future Past and you want to see all the events that led to, when Kitty Pryde's
it tells you how you get to the spot where it happens?
Yeah.
I don't know if I needed
that. I mean, it's not necessary, but it's at least not. The thing is when they do those 5-issue miniseries, like Peter David going and doing Joe Fix-It or Anna Senti doing Storm, they're taking an element of story that we know and they're shoehorning this in there. Whereas this is actually filling in spots that never have been. Yeah, exactly.
Like
so I can rationalize it.
Venom stuff is pretty good, though.
Pardon me?
Did you?
Yeah.
Michelini Lethal Protector.
Lethal Protector.
Tell me that artist isn't just phenomenal. Fareed Karami. I'd never heard of him before that book.
I'm not going to tell you that.
Really good.
Well, you're smart then.
Yeah, there you
go. Kenneth says, thanks, guys, for the input. Wes, The Shield is my favorite cop show of all time. Spider-Man is my favorite powered hero, and Batman is my favorite character. Tevye said I should combine both. A grounded crime drama with powers like Game of Thrones. Well, that certainly has a lot of potential. Josh, obviously you're the movie guy here, or the pop culture kind of guy. What's the better version of that dude? Is it the Shield or is it the Commish?
The better version.
The guy that played the Thing in the Fantastic Four. What's his name?
Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis. He was the dad in the Commish, where he was the commissioner of the police force, and then in the Shield, he was kind of a dirty cop. I
don't remember anything about the Commish, so I'd have to go Shield just based on.
You've never seen the Commish?
I've never seen the Commish.
Wow, it was so 90s. It was so wholesome and family oriented.
Yep, nope.
And he was having to juggle being a dad with being a commissioner of police officers.
You can't remember.
You saw the Commish, right?
No, I didn't. I never watched it.
Jim?
Yeah, I watched it.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was good. I like the Shield better, but I still like the Commish.
All right, so who's better, Chiklis in the Shield or Dennis Franz in NYPD Blue, Jim?
Dennis Franz is hard to beat. It's Dennis
Isn't
Franz.
He?
Yeah.
Isn't he like the best cop ever?
Yeah, he is. Plus
And
you
he's
see
all
his
fat
butt
and out of
cheeks,
shape, and he
right?
still showed his butt cheeks.
Yeah,
Like
he
that's
has
some.
butt cheeks.
That's like
People
No, I
lost
say
their
chickless.
minds.
You gotta
This fat
appreciate it.
guy's butt cheeks.
I say Chickless is better. He's way tougher, and
Really?
he still has meat on him. And I mean, I like Dennis Franz. He's
I'd
all
rather
right,
be in a
but-
room with Chickless when he thought I did something than Dennis Braz. I think that guy would kill me.
Well, you don't
He
think
seems
he
shady.
does in the first episode? He kills his
Yeah.
buddy, or not even his buddy, but his partner.
Wow, doesn't sound like.
I like the
guy, but-
commish too. I just
Yeah, it
want
was
to let you
pretty
know.
good.
I got
That was
done
a good
peeing
show,
really
wasn't
quick,
it?
so I can tell you.
Yeah.
Commish is like one of those shows. Like I don't go to sit down and watch the commish, but every time I
But
do,
if you see
I'm
something-
really happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys haven't
like
seen that one, you should
Coach
definitely go
for
check
me.
it out. Yeah, it's kind of like
Coach
Coach.
is good too.
Yeah, it's the coach. I think they were both ABC too. So there you go.
Never even heard of it,
Fantastic
Wes.
stuff.
No way.
You've never heard of the
Commish. I know the Shield. Yeah, cool. But the
Oh, no,
Commish,
obviously
no.
you were in the UK, so you
Yeah.
weren't going to be getting every show that was in the US. You're going to get the most popular stuff to be rebroadcast.
Yeah.
That was on
And
BBC
the Commish
18.
wasn't the number one show or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, but if you can search it out, it's definitely worth the watch.
Cool.
Got some good family values and stuff. I think that's why I'm enjoying Home Improvement so much. You get no show like that whatsoever in today's
Yeah.
marketplace, where it's a dad doing dad stuff. Yes, he's a bit of a moron and he blows some things up, but the wife is supportive and his kids are growing up and he's a part of their lives and
Yeah.
he's trying to help them out and guide them and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've actually been rewatching the better version of Lost, Gilligan's Island. I've actually been watching that recently. It makes me
Excellent.
Yeah.
Black and white all the way.
Does Gilligan's Island holds up?
for as much as it would. I mean, for me it
Hey,
does.
You
But,
coconut
had a
telephones.
robot.
yeah. Headhunters and spiders and volcanoes. It has it all.
And then the mosquitoes show up, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what that band is called?
Oh yeah, the mosquitoes.
The
yep.
mosquitoes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the
Garrett
girls make their
says-
own group, and it's nonsense. The honeybees.
Yes, yes, I love it.
Have a great weekend, fellas. Love to be on the panel whenever you need me. We'll definitely have you back on, sir. And I'm glad everything's working out. And good luck with your comic book. And I think Tevye might have a good idea there. You just got to take that and run with it. You'll have a nice comic book. Can't wait to talk to you about it. All right. Who else do we got here that I haven't talked to? Jim, have you recommended any comic books?
I have not, but I'm going to recommend the DC manga that hit the app, and it even does it in a curated way where you can read it like a legit
The
manga,
Joker book?
right to left. The Joker one's the best, but there's also the other Batman one and the Superman one, and I'll also throw out there the World's Finest Teen Titans as a recommendation.
Very nice. Anything
No
going on
night
the
terrors.
channel, Jim? You have any freakouts? Has anyone banned you from reviewing
Yeah,
the
they,
book?
yeah, they just yell
You're
at
still
me
an
on
outlaw
screen.
promotion?
I'm still outlawing, and yeah, there's a bunch of books coming out that every creator has to drop me or ban me, block me. It's just the same thing. I don't get it, but
Yeah.
I just go over to the YouTube channel and argue with me. That's what it seems to be.
That's what Jim does. I won't argue
Yeah.
with anybody for the most
I
part.
know you told me not to, and I try.
It's not worth your time.
I know.
You know what you could be doing when you're arguing?
Making other videos,
Making
maybe?
more
Yeah,
videos that are great
could be.
content.
I'm going to
Coming
make
up with
videos about
concepts.
not making videos about arguing with people. It's going to cross the streams and end it all.
We need some more feuds on this show, is what I think.
I need some more YouTube beef.
Yeah. Well,
I'll
you
tell
know,
you-
I
Well,
wanna
Doc
take-
is in a feud with everyone that's breathing.
Yule has
Yes.
gone to the channel and yelled at me about a couple things. I don't
No,
argue
I
with
have
Yule, though.
not.
Yeah, you have about the
You yelled at
Spider-Man
somebody.
book and a couple things.
No,
but
I'm sorry. I
Who
was
did
just,
you
No.
yell at, Yule?
I don't mind.
I mean, I just, you know,
Was
I
it-
know,
it was
I
Fatal
think
J.
Fatal
He's
J.
just giving his opinion. I don't mind.
No,
that.
you know what I mean. I know. I'm kind of playing a character when I do that a little bit, but I mean, I also believe
Nah,
it. So
your
it's kind of like one or
vein
the
was
other.
popping out.
Actually,
of
Yule,
your
I
forehead.
know anytime I say anything about Riley Rossimo, that's when.
I will
He
not.
gets-
I will
cousins or
not. I will not fight for him. I mean, I like him all right as an artist,
Yeah.
but I'm not like an. He
Right.
can't draw feet. We know this.
My goodness.
I like saying that. He can't draw feet.
He can draw
Josh,
nets.
you got any recommendations? You recommending people go see this Mission Impossible movie, or what do you recommend?
I mean, yeah, movie wise, go see Sound of Freedom, go see Mission Impossible. It's getting great, feedback. Comic wise, I'm gonna echo the World's Finest Teen Titans. I wasn't sure how I felt about the whole social media and stuff.
I'm with you.
Oh, I know.
Me too.
It's something they've tried to do with the Teen Titans for about 5, 6, 7 years now, and I feel like if anyone can make it work, it's going to be Mark Waid. But I settled in by the end of the issue, and it's the favorite thing that I've read so far this week. There's also an indie
His
book
work on
called-
Champions makes me think that he can't do it. But
Okay, so
Yeah.
I didn't read that, so
you lucky.
yeah. Other than that, there was an indie book that debuted this week called Antarctica. I think aside from 2 little scenes in it, it was actually halfway decent. It could lead to some interesting things. And Gargoyles Dark Ages. I did not care for the regular Gargoyles title, and I like Gargoyles. It just seemed very juvenile. This one tonally seems a little more similar, or serious, I should say. But the art is not the best. Like, there's panels where Goliath looks like Sid from Ice Age. Like, his eyes are going.
So I didn't read Antarctica, but I almost did because the cover was intriguing enough. It looked like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's got...
You ain't got to go into the details. I'm just telling you that I thought the cover was somewhat inviting.
Agreed. That's why I picked it up. There's 2 points in the book that I'm like, okay, well, this would never freaking happen, but okay, sure, I'm on. Let's just roll with it.
Is it as bad as Batman traversing from the moon to the Earth in 12 hours and then landing at the Fortress of Solitude?
No.
Awesome.
I'll just put it this way: the
That's
thing that
awesome.
made me roll my eyes was the lead character goes to like skill classes basically, and then suddenly gets a job as an engineer. So then I was like,
Oh. That sounds like something that would be in that Mother of Madness book.
Looks
or
like
something.
Kenny
but I
Howard
was
stuff, too.
I was
Yeah.
literally on board, and then I was like, okay, we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen and keep going.
Yule just had a comment that I want to get on. He says, I don't like Robin in long pants.
The
This
past
is what I did
Robin.
this week. My wife and I
That's-
were discussing what's our strategy for kids' costumes because Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm in the Philippines, and I don't want any of the bootleg costumes that they have here. And I've decided, and I ordered them. My oldest son is going to be Batman. His little brother is going to be Robin, and then the baby is going to be Superman. Bam.
Boom.
That's pretty good.
Boom.
Nailed it. It's going to be
Nailed
so
it.
much fun. And my 4-year-old absolutely loves dressing up in costumes, so he's going to love it the most. All right, Doc. We're down to you. You got any recommendations?
All right. Yes,
You
I
recommend
do.
Fallen Friend?
Nope. But I am recommending. This isn't the favorite run of everybody, but the
Great cover.
Devil's Due era of G.I. Joe, and the first couple issues have J. Scott Campbell covers. So,
Who's the
It's
writer on
really
that?
cool.
Is that Kurth?
Josh Blaylock.
Oh, Blaylock. Okay.
Yeah. Then
Side
got-
face.
the first Deadpool series, Deadpool Circle Chase. It's got some great Joe Mad interior art on it. I think this was done by.
Mark
I think
Waid.
it was
right?
done by. No, I think it was. Was it Wade?
I think so.
Might have been.
Deadpool Circle Jerk. Let me do a pic.
Yeah, Circle
That's
Jerk.
what I was thinking.
The Circle Chase. Yep. But yeah, go check that out. And
Nice
finally,
Mylar.
yep.
Fabian Nicieza.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought
okay,
so.
very good. Oh, he does the next one, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, he did the second miniseries.
That's right.
But then Uncanny X-Men 307, this is the Pressman variant. This was one of the ones that you would get out of the X-Men board game. There
Oh.
were 4 of these total.
Like
This
in the
is-
world? That
No,
must be
I
worth
mean-
a lot of money.
No. I mean 4. They did 4 different
Oh.
individual issue variants that were available in the X-Men board games. This one is for 307, and it's the first appearance of Exodus.
And that's not normally a gold cover, is it?
No, it's not. It's a white background, or no, it's a normal background cover. This is the Pressman variants had the gold covers on the Uncanny issues. 3 of them. It was Uncanny 297, 304, and 307. And X-Men number 11, adjectiveless.
Right. Jim Lee.
Yep.
Okay.
And that one was silver.
Oh. Wow.
So,
I didn't even
Very
know that
nice.
about those. I mean, I didn't know. That's awesome.
Yep.
You have all those
All
other
right,
ones?
The only one I'm missing is 297.
So, Josh, here's the thing. The boys obviously are DC heroes. I got Batman, Robin. I got Superman. I was thinking of going as Nightwing. But I am rocking the dad bod right now. Can I pull off spandex?
Sure, why not? I mean, it's whatever you want to do.
I'll take it all sizes, man.
That, or you, if you want to go as Red Hood, you can do like the jacket, and then.
Oh. It's gonna be hot.
Red
though,
Hood.
right?
I don't like
That's
Jason
true.
Todd.
I'm just throwing off.
I'll find something out with some loose clothing. Josh doesn't seem to be on board.
I hope
go
you're the
as Punisher.
Penguin.
Go as Punisher. Just
Go as
represent
Alfred.
Marvel.
I'm a DC character.
Be Alfred.
goodness.
You're gonna be
Maybe I
helping
should make my
along
wife be
anyway.
Wonder Woman.
You could be
and I
Bouncing
Steve
Boy.
Trevor. I'll just dress like a normal dude.
Actually, that would be funny. I mean, you'd be hot as all get out, but if you
I'm
dress
not
up as
getting a bomber
Alfred,
jacket. Oh, Alfred, never mind. Never. Yeah.
Alfred.
All right. Have a
That'd be
good
good.
weekend. Daddy needs his chicken nuggies. Time to hit the road.